think you can go through that.
Our wonderful producer, Chris, has got everything up on the screen right here for us to see. So, if Miami couldn't stop Brock Purdy.
Chargers.
Yeah, I mean,
here's the thing. Even if the Chargers are up, they're going to blow a lead.
Every time, man. Never lay big points on the Chargers, and always bet the Chargers when they're big dogs. They're always locked in one possession games
against the Chiefs every time.
Literally every single time against the Chiefs.
All right, this is a cool promo that we have, and it's super easy for you. We're going to tell you how you can turn $5 into $150 on DraftKings. And as we've all told you throughout on the Odd Shopper channel, it doesn't matter what the reason is why you're not on DK. Either you're only on the other book or that other book, and you're waiting for an opportunity to take advantage of some free money. That's right now. Or maybe it's you and there are other people in your house, right? Like Lofty's daughter, my son, there are people that are not on DK, right? We can get them on there. So we want you, a kid. They're not ready quite yet, but there are people that maybe have put it off. Here's an opportunity to take advantage of 5 into 150, and it's going to hit. So all we need you to do is click this link below. It's going to bring you right on over to DK. It's going to take you about 90 seconds on DraftKings to put in your information, deposit, link your account. It could be a PayPal account, deposit $5 and only $5. And then go immediately to the college basketball tab and scroll down to find the heaviest money line favorite you can find. And we say college basketball because Ben will back this. This is where you find the minus 4,000s, the minus 5,000s, Gonzaga taking on Chaminade, right? Like that's where all of a sudden there is a minus 6,000 play. No matter what it is, the heaviest money line favorite you can find, that $5 wager will turn into $150 as soon as that heavy favorite wins. So again, let's recap. You're not on DraftKings. We'll solve that. Click the link below. It's going to take you 90 seconds to sign up, link your account, and deposit $5 and only $5. From there, go and find the heaviest money line favorite you can find in college basketball. Bet that $5 on the money line favorite. And then as soon as that team wins, you can watch $150 pop right into your account. And we'll tell you how to use that on the Discord. But now you're set. All right, we're back. Another edition of Break the Tide did not go well for me last week. It went really well for Ben Raza last week. And the judge, I don't know. I think Lofty put this game on the sheet because he's comfortable in the judgment position. I was expecting him to come in like those old British, what do they call them, barristers? Or those are the lawyers, right? I don't know what they call the judges, right? From the old British Law and Orders. I was expecting Lofty to come in with the powdered wig and the big gavel and ready to slam down again.
I will. I mean, I could probably find one of those on Amazon.
Yes. But here's the thing.
We're all going to need one.
Long term, I feel like I'd have a better shot, though, of beating you than Ben.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell kind of judgments you were handing out last week.
Lumpy's like, hold on a second. What's that? I'm sorry, Raza. I'm mad. I lost last week, so I'm taking shots at everybody.
No, I'm mad. I was fighting two on one. I was fighting the judge, the jury. No one listens.
I have a feeling I'll be fighting the judge this week. And if not, then definitely after that comment. So
I would hope so. Go ahead, lay out your case.
No. I want you to go first. You're the brains of this organization here.
I don't know in court if the prosecution goes first. I think they do, and then the defense goes. Well, it's pretty simple. We already did this. We did this last week. All I heard about was how this Miami offense, they're going to carve up San Francisco. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Nothing of value happened for them. Tampa Bay's not even good. The only redeeming quality they have is that they're in the South, and they play Carolina and the Saints and the Falcons. It took a minor miracle for them to beat New Orleans at home. Now they have to go to San Francisco. That is not going to work. The offensive line is no good. Tom Brady doesn't take pressure well. They can't run the ball. They don't even attempt to run the ball. And then everyone's worried about the quarterback. If there was one good team that could suffer a QB injury and be just fine, it would be San Francisco. Jimmy G's a game manager at best, and he is a winner. There's no doubt.
Oh.
And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Deeper Dive. It is Friday, December 9th. I am Josh Engleman. I am joined by Adam Scherer. We are brought to you by No House Advantage, and we are generally disinterested for the next 15 minutes while the Netherlands and Argentina go to penalties, but that's fine. I'll keep my eye on it. I'll let Adam do the legwork on this show. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Adam, how's your Friday going?
Going pretty well. And to clarify, there is no we that are disinterested. You are disinterested. I am not even watching the game.
I'm quite confident you're disinterested in this show, whether or not you're watching soccer.
I mean, that's a fair point, but you implied that it was because of soccer.
Fair.
I would be watching if I could see my TV, but I can't. So
you have 5 televisions, and you are unable to see one of them right now.
I have 6, and I'm unable to see any of them.
Holy shit, it's even worse. I bet
so I have one in my room. I have 5 in my living room, but I don't have one in my office because there's nothing on during the day, and I don't sit in my office at night. I might put one in my office now that MMA has late swap, because if I play MMA, I'm just gonna be stuck in my office. But yeah, don't have one in my office right now, and can't see my TVs from my office. So
what a mistake! Could have used those crowns on Black Friday. Made it easy on yourself. Yeah. Well, we have a lot to talk about, and the first couple games take a while. So do you want to dive in?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. First game up on the list, the New York Knicks, 3.5-point favorites in Charlotte, 224 total for the New York Knickerbockers. We have, let me scroll down quickly. No Obi Toppin, who's going to be out for a couple weeks, probably 3, something along those lines, which doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but maybe matters a little bit. We'll get your thoughts on that. But what does matter is the Knicks get to play the Charlotte Hornets with really nice pricing. Julius Randle's 25% owned. Jalen Brunson's like 20% owned. Barrett, Robinson, Quickly, all like 15 to 25% owned. The Knicks are in an exceptional spot, and the public seems to be there already. What are you doing with the Knicks? Take it whichever direction you want.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get to a lot of the Knicks as well. Obviously, with it being a 10-game slate and there being a lot of good plays, you can, in individual lineups, get away from some of the Knicks, get some lower-owned guys. There's plenty of pivots to get to, but it's really, really difficult for me not to like the Knicks here because, for one, and on DraftKings specifically, for one, they are just underpriced. $6,800 for Jalen Brunson. This is somebody that was looking good at 7,200 last game. Ended up not being that popular just because other stuff broke news-wise, but now he's down to 6,800, likely to play low 30s in minutes. Mitchell Robinson's been playing upper 20s typically when he's not in foul trouble, and games are competitive. So I'm pretty comfortable going there. RJ Barrett's down to 5,900. He played a ton of minutes last game. He's somebody that I think may be slightly impacted positively by Obi Toppin being out. And then Julius Randle as well, somebody that I do think is definitely going to be positively impacted by Obi Toppin being out, and he's only 7,900. So with Randle, if you projected him for his normal 33, 34 minutes, he's going to look good at $7,900. He's averaged about 1.19 DraftKings points per minute this year, but we could very, very easily see him play more minutes. I have him in for 36. It could be more, I think. There's nothing stopping this from being like last season when Randle would just go out there and play 38, 39 minutes. In the second half last game with no Toppin, he played 40 minutes or 20 minutes in the second half. So again, I'm not going that high on the projections, but I am giving him a couple of extra minutes. And the reason I say it could benefit Barrett as well is my assumption is they add Cam Reddish to the rotation for at least a handful of minutes, but they didn't do that in the second half. They just played RJ Barrett like straight through until the game got out of hand. So you could see RJ Barrett, get more minutes as well. I have him at 36, but certainly could play more. So I think that Toppin being out is a plus for Randle. It's possibly a plus for Barrett. This whole team just looks good.
Argentina goalkeeper saved the first 2 Netherlands penalty kicks.
How many do you get?
Wow, not too many more if they keep doing that.
Oh, is it just like sudden death?
5. Yeah. Well, no, it's 5.
Okay.
Each team gets 5.
Yeah,
so it's like best of 5, and then it's sudden death after that. But doesn't take much after this. What is your expectation for the guy that you get to the most here from the Knicks? Is that going to be Julius Randle?
Yeah, I think it's probably Randle. Certainly could be Brunson, but I think it's probably Randle.
Okay. Man, if these guys had MPEs, like I mean, not that I think they should. I mean, you can make a case that Brunson should be like point guard, shooting guard, or Barrett should just be something other than just a small forward, at which point I think Barrett would probably be that guy. Are you worried about any rules here for the Knicks?
Not really. I don't think that. I just don't think I'm getting to Hartenstein, so I'm not worried about setting like a Robinson plus Hartenstein rule.
Okay.
But yeah, like I'm even getting to Quentin Grimes. I'm getting some quickly.
Yeah, I feel like Quentin Grimes is going a little underrepresented here at 6.5%. Not the best guy in the world on a per minute basis, 0.7 fantasy points per minute. Could benefit from a couple extra minutes. I mean, we saw him play 40.5 this past Sunday. So he could conceivably be out there for 36 if they don't add Reddish to the rotation and they just start playing everybody a couple extra minutes across the board. Shooting guard, small forward, 4,200. A potential value option that I think at 6.5% ownership is at least interesting in GPPs. Do you worry about the quickly ownership by any chance? 25% feels a little healthy for like his role and everything.
Yeah, that seems high to me. Right now, like I haven't sorted lineups yet, but in the crunch that I'm running, he's showing up in like 15% of my lineups on DraftKings. 4,100 I think is too cheap. I have him in for 24 minutes. You certainly could get more, but we didn't see him necessarily benefit in that last game from the condensed rotation without Toppin. He, if I remember correctly, subbed back in at the end, but it was garbage time. So yeah, I think that, you know, he played 3 minutes and 36 seconds of garbage time at the end. He played about 12 minutes in the second half. He had played about 12 minutes, 11 minutes in the first half. So I'm pretty comfortable going to 24 minutes, but I don't necessarily think he's getting more than that.
Yeah, he's the reason that I look at Grimes and I'm just like, should that be 26-6 here? And because like they probably have similar, I mean, to me, they have similar projections. Obviously, Quentin Grimes is sort of at the peak of minutes, whereas Quickly can fall into a bunch. There's a lot more upside to Quickly, but I don't know if that ownership gap makes a ton of sense to me.
How many minutes do you have Grimes in for? Because I think I might actually be a little bit high.
34.
Okay, I went 34 as well. And if I go 34 on Grimes and 24 on Quickly, I'm actually getting to more Grimes.
I think that that's how it should be. So you and I are on the same page at least. Anybody else that we need to touch on here? Doesn't feel like the slate where Miles McBride's going to get enough. There's just too many games.
Yeah, like I think there's minutes for McBride, but I just don't think you need him on this slate.
All righty. And then we go to the Charlotte side of this one where it's sort of the same situation. You know, they're still without half their team, no LaMelo, no Gordon Hayward, no Cody Martin, no DSJ. And these guys, at least from a starting perspective, because they don't really mess around with the starting lineup at all. They just play a bunch of minutes. 28% owned Oubre on DraftKings. Call it 16 to Rozier, Washington, McDaniels, and Plumlee. I feel like Charlotte is equally as interesting on the opposite side.
Yeah, I think Charlotte looks really good as well. Kelly Oubre in particular standing out because on DraftKings, he's only $6,800. You've seen a condensed rotation for Charlotte recently and increased production because of the absences of LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, and to a lesser extent, Dennis Smith Jr. So in competitive games, you're getting, 38, 40 minutes from Kelly Oubre. I went to 38 as a projection, but certainly could play more today. Terry Rozier is averaging 40 minutes per game in the games that he's played without Dennis Smith Jr., without LaMelo, and without Hayward. So he's going to look really good as well. Not quite as inexpensive, but still looks good. PJ Washington should give you 34 minutes or so, assuming he avoids foul trouble. Jalen McDaniels should be in the low to mid 30s. There's a lot to like here. Mason Plumlee, a good play as well, played 34 minutes last game. I only went to 30. I don't feel comfortable going beyond that, but he is a fantasy point per minute guy. It's just a loaded center position. Yeah,
I have him in at 29. Wouldn't have any problem going to 30. They just all look really good. They might even look better on FanDuel. These guys are all 20 to 25% owned on the FanDuel side. So it's just absolutely everybody is unloading on Knicks Hornets.
How many minutes do you have RJ Barrett at?
Let me go back. I have Barrett at 33.
Okay, I went 36, and I appear to be the high guy on him, but I'm getting a lot.
I don't think I would go higher than 34, and I think I could probably make a case that it should be 34. I just feels a lot. I mean, obviously played 36 minutes Wednesday. We have this sort of different team right now
played 36 minutes Wednesday and did not play in the final 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
He played, even in the first half before Toppin went out, he played like 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think 34 feels pretty safe as a floor. Probably a guy that I should bump up an extra minute. Game, set, match, Argentina.
Sorry,
it's close. Their fourth kicker yanked one and missed the goal completely to like leave it open, but they just finished him off. They made 4 of their PKs. Argentina moves on. Virgil van Dijk got his first kick saved, and that really breaks my heart. So now I can turn soccer off and actually pay attention to this show. Anything else you want to touch on from Charlotte?
No, I will just reiterate that I'm scared by how much RJ Barrett I think I'm going to get.
I mean, it's not crazy. It's great spot against Charlotte. All he has to do is just make a shot. I mean, how hard could that be for RJ Barrett, right?
Yeah, much harder than you would think.
Evidently. To your Washington Wizards we go. 4-point dogs in Indiana, 233 total. We did just get news before this show started. It's looking like Kristaps Porzingis is going to be available to play today. Will Barton, on the other hand, is out for today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe the Wizards only have 9 active bodies. Let me just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 9. Isaiah Todd, Johnny Davis, Vernon Carey, and Devin Dotson, all with the G League affiliate, which means we're getting Taj Gibson today. And I liked Washington a little bit earlier today. Kuzma, Porzingis for sure. Denny Avdia, the most popular Washington Wizard, but now they're even a little bit more interesting because they don't have any options. There's only 9 dudes here.
Yeah, so when I'd only given Barton 18 minutes, but because of all these guys being in the G League, it still had a pretty big impact just taking Will Barton's minutes away. I went from 30 to 34 minutes on Kispert. I went from 32 to 34 on Monte Morris. Went up to 24 on Jordan Goodwin, which doesn't make him look like anything special. Put Anthony Gill and Taj Gibson both in the rotation for 9 to 12 minutes. Gave a couple extra minutes to Gafford, thinking, maybe they'll play a little bit more Porzingis alongside Gafford. So it makes this team look really good. Porzingis at 9,400 on DraftKings is going to look good. He's going to look even better on FanDuel because he has power forward eligibility. Sees a bump in usage without Beal. Kuzma sees a bump in usage without Beal as well. Should play around 37, 38 minutes here at 8,100. So he looks good. Monte Morris at 5,300. If he's going to play mid-30s, he's going to project as a good option, even though he's not a very high usage guy. And then Denny Avdia, the guy showing up the most for me, which, you and I talked about it this morning. It's kind of scary because it's Denny Avdia, but at the same time, I think I'm just sort of biased against him being a Wizards fan. The numbers support him being one of the best plays on the slate. He's about a 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy in these games without Beal. He's playing massive minutes. I have him in for 36. He could easily play more. In the 2 games he's played this year without Beal and without Rui, he's played 39 and 41 minutes. Now you also don't have Barton. I think Avdia looks great. And then you have really favorable positional eligibility as well. So I think Avdia looks great. I expect him to be one of my highest owned guys, unless what could change that is, if we do just get news where $3,500 guys start opening up, then maybe he looks a little bit weaker, but 4,800 looks like a really good value here.
I assume we're going to need some sort of update for ownership on the Porzingis side, unless we've gotten that already. We didn't have it when the show started. Let me just check here. Now, still 1 hour. So obviously Denny Avdia looks like the best option. Who is your second favorite option from the Wizards?
I think Morris.
Okay.
I don't say that with a lot of confidence because he's not a great point per minute guy, but I just think he plays enough minutes here. We saw 37 minutes last game, and then now you take out Barton as well. So, my kind of concern this morning from last game was that, Morris played 37 minutes, but Jordan Goodwin only played about 12, and typically you're getting more minutes from Jordan Goodwin. Now you can give Jordan Goodwin 24 minutes and still very easily get the 34 on Monte Morris.
What do you think about the ownership coming into Daniel Gafford right now? It is at 15%. I don't know if that is just a symptom of Kristaps Porzingis. I assume these guys play alongside of each other a little bit more than you would expect just because they only have 9 bodies. And it's not like you should really want to play Taj Gibson anymore. How are you handling Daniel Gafford at 3,600?
So in the crunch I just ran, he showed up in about 15%. So I think that ownership number makes sense. And to your point, I do think they play alongside each other because basically the options are only play Porzingis and Gafford at center and just give more minutes to Anthony Gill and Taj Gibson, or play some Porzingis at the 4, and we've seen them doing that recently. We've seen them do that recently anyway. You're also likely going to have a Miles Turner and Jalen Smith front court where it's not like it's a problem. So I think they're going to go that route as well. I don't think I'm going to play Porzingis and Gafford together just because of it being such a large slate. Like the true ceiling game for Gafford is still Porzingis getting in foul trouble or something. So I do plan on setting that rule, but I do expect them to play alongside each other. And I do think Gafford's actually the easier one to get to on DraftKings just because he's so cheap. On FanDuel, totally different because I know you said he's 5,300, but then Porzingis also has the power forward eligibility.
Here's the big question I have for you. Which starter plays if this game is a blowout? Someone has to. Is that Avdia? Are his minutes the safest, or is it Kispert?
It's either Avdia or Kispert. Yeah, it's not one of the other three.
No, doesn't seem like it would be. Because it seems like Goodwin would be out there. Then you get Anthony Gill. It could be two of them too, because you start getting a lot of. You probably don't need the Gibson Daniel Gafford front court in the blowout, but it doesn't matter at that point. Is there any scenario where you're getting to Taj Gibson?
No, I only gave him 12 minutes.
Yeah.
My biggest concern rotation-wise here is that Washington does like Anthony Gill. They only played him 3 minutes last game, so I only gave him like 10 minutes here because he was behind Gibson last game. He only played 3 minutes, but we've seen a lot of times Wes Unseld Jr. just throw Anthony Gill in when there's minutes available. So if there were one guy that was going to kind of screw this up and it would be like, I overprojected Morris and, Avdia and Kispert, it would be Anthony Gill. But based on the recent rotations, I'm still going heavy on those guys.
All right. Yeah, Gill, 3K, small forward, power forward. Another potential wild card as a pay down. You don't think that's a volume option.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to play him. It's more so like if Gill plays 22 minutes, he's probably still a shitty DFS play, but it probably also means that Monte Morris is playing less than I thought he was. Avdia is playing less than I thought he was. Gafford's playing less than I thought he was.
Good day to roster your Wizards.
Yeah, it is. At least as of right now.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on for Washington?
Nope.
Let me go to the opposite side of this one, the Indiana Pacers. For the Pacers, got a couple giant question marks dangling over this one. Jalen Smith is available, but Miles Turner questionable, Isaiah Jackson questionable, James Johnson questionable. Makes it a little hard to talk about this. Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton both have double-digit ownership on DraftKings. They also have that on FanDuel, as does Benedict Mathurin. This could open up even more if we start getting a couple of those Q tags turned to out. But assuming everybody is in, how are you handling Indiana?
I don't think there's really priorities here, but I do think that there are good tournament plays for individual lineups. Tyrese Halliburton's still pretty inexpensive at 9,200. He's averaged just shy of 1.4 fantasy points per minute on DraftKings this year, a little over 1.3 on FanDuel. So I like using him as somebody just, to be contrarian. He's a very high upside option, not getting a ton of ownership. Same can be said for Miles Turner, who did play 33.5 minutes last game. He's questionable today. My assumption for now is that he's going to play because he played 33.5 minutes last game. But, if he's in, he's a high upside option, but there's also just a lot of really good center options. So, Hield's going to look fine. Jalen Smith's going to look fine, but none of them stand out the way that guys on Charlotte, New York, and Washington did.
I think we're on the same page there. Let's say Miles Turner happens to be out like he was on Monday. You think we're getting the Jalen Smith center spot?
That is my guess as they go to Mathurin, but it shouldn't surprise anybody if it's Isaiah Jackson or Goga. But just based on what they did last game, my guess is that they go Jalen Smith.
It should surprise you if it's Goga.
Why?
I mean, he still didn't even play on Monday.
Well, yeah, because they went with the small lineup.
Yeah, but I mean, to not even get a rotational piece after that too is kind of wild.
Yeah, I think
whatever a Kendall Brown is.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if you had to guess the three most likely guys to start, to me it's Mathurin, Jackson, or Goga. If they want, if they want to play big but keep Jackson in the backup role, fair. I think it's Goga.
Yeah, that's fair. Is there anything else we should be touching on here for Indiana? They just feel appropriately priced, no matter what really happens, unless we get everybody out.
Yeah, I mean that's how I see it.
Okay. I'm looking at it and I just don't see anybody that I really need to touch on.
Yeah, I think it's just guys that are good tournament plays, but you're not building around them like you are the other guys we talked about.
No. All right. So let's get to Toronto then. 8.5-point favorites in Orlando, 225.5 total here. Not a ton that we need to break down for Toronto. Everybody that is normally in is in. We still don't have Juancho Hernangomez. Highest owned guy in this game for Toronto is Fred VanVleet at 11% on DK at 7K, which I do think looks like a completely reasonable price tag. But this seems easy. If you can get to VanVleet, Anunoby, Siakam, or Barnes, those guys just fit into lineups as just a guy to be a little bit different with lower ownership. There's not a single priority for me for Toronto.
No, me neither. I thought I was going to get more Siakam earlier in the day, but doesn't look like I'm getting as much as I expected now. He showed up in like 9%. If the slate started right now, I'd have like 9% on DraftKings. He would be my highest owned guy from the Raptors at 9%. So again, you're perfectly fine with that. I think he's still reasonably priced for as long as he has power forward eligibility. But yeah, not getting the much from this team. If you get to some Anunoby, some Barnes, some VanVleet, all those guys are fine. But Siakam's my favorite play from the Raptors. But again, it's just a team where there's nothing that really stands out as far as one of the best plays on the slate.
Is Christian Coloco like the most rare center that exists? Normally, like they're all sort of just, 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy at a minimum. And this dude just isn't. It's kind of weird. You just don't see centers be shitty point per minute dudes.
Yeah, it is unusual.
I was looking at it, I was like, man, 3,300 for Coloco. Like, what has to break right here against Orlando? Like, maybe he could just be out there because it's Orlando. And I was like, oh, he's a 0.8 guy in my model and 0.77 over the past 30 days. Like, he's just shitty. So there's that. All I got for Toronto. Let's go to Orlando. Little bit more interesting, but comparable from an ownership perspective, I guess. They're still without everybody they're always without. No Suggs, no Wendell Carter, no Gary Harris, no John Isaac, no Chuma Okeke. We've got 10% owned Markelle Fultz on DraftKings as the highest owned guy. Really makes me interested in Banchero and Franz Wagner at no ownership in GPPs. We also have Fultz at 4,600 on FanDuel, projected for 33% ownership. That feels high, even though I do like him today. Does have the MPE for point guard, shooting guard. Let's start with Fultz since he is getting ownership both on DK and to a much bigger extent on FanDuel. How do you feel about that ownership?
I'm getting a ton of him. If the slate started right now, he's my second highest owned guy behind Avdia, which I don't feel great about. Like, it feels like a lot of Markelle Fultz when you're talking about an Orlando team facing the Raptors, but I have him in for 30 minutes. That's what he was looking like he was going to play last game if it weren't for foul trouble. We saw 32 minutes the game before that. He's been a fantasy point per minute guy this year. He's been a 1.2 fantasy point per minute guy going back to last year or just short of it. So I just think he's still really underpriced here, and I'm happy to get to him. He is somebody where I think if and when more value opens up, I stop having him in half of my lineups. But right now it's just, we have so many really good, mid-range plays. We have plenty of guys to pay up for if you want to. The one thing we're missing on this slate right now is true cheap value. And so to me, when you look at, Denny Avdia, Markelle Fultz, those are two of the best values, Quentin Grimes also, I think, as far as cheap guys go. They're not that inexpensive, but they are still relatively inexpensive. So I do think you see that come down a little bit if you do start getting, $3,600 guys that are going to play 30 minutes somewhere.
Do you see yourself getting to Banchero or Franz Wagner today?
At the moment, no, I do not.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind if I did, but I think it's just a situation where there's so many good plays on the slate. They're just not really showing up.
Yeah. I see them as very interesting GPP plays. The type of guys where if their ownership really was 3%, I'd be really happy to see that I had 12 after we got past lock.
Yeah. I mean, the issue that I'm running into there is of the, huge pool of lineups that I created, Mo Wagner exists in 3% of them. Banchero exists in 2% of them. So I'm just not really getting lineups with them to even choose from.
Yeah, I get it. And I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that they should be showing up. But when you look at that, there's comparable price ranges, you just see them as the guys where it's oh, other guys are pulling a ton of ownership. This would be a really sneaky pivot in a single lineup.
Right. Yeah. And I agree with that. I think they are good plays in that sense, but I think there's also just an abundance of those on this slate. And it just so happens that those aren't the ones that I'm getting to.
Completely agree. Mo Wagner, I know you just mentioned him, but it's just not happening, right?
Yeah. I mean, I gave him 28 minutes. I gave Bamba the other 20.
Yeah. All right. We're on the same page there. I don't have anything else that I want to say about Orlando.
Me neither.
All righty. Let's talk a little bit about the schedule we have going for the rest of the day. That's pretty simple. NBA Live Before Lock coming up next, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. You get Eric and you get Gundacker. So they're going to be hanging out with you all the way up until lock. We also have a little bit of a promo going on. If you have never signed up at Stokastic before, there is a link in the description to this video. You'll get 3 days free of our NBA package. That's a pretty good deal. You don't have to do anything other than just never have been a Stokastic sub before. 3 days free seems pretty good. That's projections. That's ownership. That's boom bust. Things we talk about aggressively on this show. If you've ever wanted to check us out, now seems like a really good time to do it. 3 days free. Take the weekend for yourself. Immerse yourself in stokastic.com. Come check out our Discord for a couple of days if you want. That's what we've got. All righty. The Atlanta Hawks looking a little bit different for today, at least in comparison to what they normally look like. Trae Young is off of the injury report. DeJounte Murray isn't. He is now going to be out for probably 2 weeks. John Collins still out for about 2 weeks. Q tag on DeAndre Hunter. Still have not seen anything regarding Hunter. I don't know. Did you see anything about him being at shoot around by any chance? Nope. Okay. So then we got to talk about Atlanta. Let's just start here. Assuming DeAndre Hunter is in, what would be your expectation of a starting lineup?
Young, Holiday, Aaron Holiday, Hunter, Johnson, Capella.
How are we talking about Josh Okogie and Chad again? Good God. What are we doing here?
I assumed it was a joke.
Oh, we got a real answer there too. Yeah, don't be curious about Josh Okogie in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, let's just start with Trae Young then. Regardless of the news that we get on Hunter, he's 10,300 on DraftKings, 9,700 on FanDuel, and honestly, at 10% or 19%, I feel like he's not even getting as much ownership as I think he should.
Yeah, we have him at 10% on DraftKings. I got to like 14. There's two things sort of working against him. One, like I was saying before, the best value plays on this slate are in the like 4 to 5K range. So it's opening stuff up, but it's not, just making it so you have tons of money you can spend anywhere. And then you also just have a lot of good guard plays today. John Morant, slightly more expensive than Young. Tyrese Halliburton, about $1,000 less expensive. James Harden at 8,900. Potentially Mitchell and Garland, or just a really, really good Garland, depending on Mitchell's status. Yeah. So there's all of that stuff sort of working against them. Kyrie, like there's a million guys that you can name, good guard options. So I think that keeps it from being a spot where like I expect to jam him in, but I certainly want to get there. He basically this year without Murray on the floor, and Collins has taken like every possession, like a 45% usage rate and like a 50% assist percentage. Going back to last year, he's got about a 36% usage rate without Collins on the floor. Still a very high assist percentage as well. So I think he looks great. It's just that there are other guys that look great as well.
1,550 people in here, 150 likes. Don't be afraid to keep hitting that like button. Let's get up over 200 if we can. If DeAndre Hunter plays, do you have any interest without DeJounte Murray in there?
No, not really.
Okay.
I only gave him 30 minutes.
Okay. Same. What do we do with Bogdan Bogdanović? Shooting guard, small forward, 4,100. Same situation on FanDuel, but 4,400. Projected for 30% ownership on both sites right now. Scares me a little bit at that ownership, but could conceivably start, could conceivably play a little bit more off the bench. We saw him get 25 minutes on Wednesday. How do you manage someone like Bogdanović when he's pulling the ownership?
Yeah, it scares me too, but I'm also getting there. I have 41% right now on DraftKings, and it's just that he's really easy to fit into lineups with shooting guard, small forward eligibility. I expect him to be around a fantasy point per minute guy. I assume he'll be on the floor whenever Trae Young is not, and he is capable of creating in addition to scoring. I also like that he played 25 minutes last game. I did go to 26. I might take a minute or two off that just to try and like sort of balance it out, because I don't think there's a very good chance he's playing like 28. I think there's a good chance he's playing 26, but one way or the other, I think that he's a good value because again, he fits into lineups really easily. You don't have a lot of guys cheaper than him that look good. And so it's just really easy to get there. And then, I did like that he played like 23 minutes in his first game back. Then he said he's going to continue playing 22 to 23 minutes for a couple more games, and then immediately played 25. So I'm always a little more optimistic when guys just immediately go a couple minutes over what they were supposed to be allowed to play.
Bogdanovich is another guy where if I built like a very chalky cash type lineup and was looking for a pivot or two, I just take him out and put Quentin Grimes in. Between Grimes and Bogdanovich and quickly in that $4,100, $4,200 range. One of those guys is getting 6% ownership. The other guys are 25 plus. But just another pivot spot. I understand 100% why Bogdanovich is getting that ownership. And there is some upside if he's going to get a couple extra minutes. What else do you like from Atlanta? I know Clint Capella could look a little interesting here against Brooklyn.
Yeah, I like Capella a lot. I'm only getting around the field like 8 to 10%. It is a good spot though. Brooklyn, you mentioned it this morning. Brooklyn, the worst defensive rebounding team, the worst offensive rebounding team. So you have that working in Capella's favor. But Murray being out is also likely to be a bump for Capella in a couple of ways. For one, it's likely to make his usage rate go up. Not that he's ever going to be a high usage guy. He's not creating for himself, but there's going to be more possessions most likely ending in a Trae Young lob to Clint Capella than there were when DeJounte Murray was in. And then also DeJounte Murray is a very, very, very good rebounding guard. We've seen Clint Capella's rebounding percentage skyrocket when he's been on the floor with Trae Young and without DeJounte Murray versus when both Murray and Young are on the floor. So I think that there's a lot working in Capella's favor. He is one spot, like when I look at the exposures I have right now and I'm getting to, like 10% of him, but I'm getting a lot of centers in that range. I do think I might be a little low on Capella. Like I wish I was getting to more.
Okay. Are you doing anything with AJ Griffin or Jalen Johnson, whether Hunter is in or if Hunter is out?
So, I mean, if Hunter is out, I expect Griffin to start. I don't think he's going to look like that good of an option anyway. Jalen Johnson, I think, would look better if Hunter is out as well. The reason being just that, it would take a wing player out of the rotation. As is, I went like 26 minutes on Jalen Johnson, gave the 22 backup minutes to AJ Griffin, or some combination of Griffin, Justin Holiday, all of these guys. But yeah. If Hunter is out, I'd get back up probably for like 30 minutes on Jalen Johnson, over 30 minutes for Griffin. So they would certainly be playable, but not great plays, I don't think.
All right. Anything else you want to touch on from Atlanta that we haven't touched on?
No.
All righty. Malcolm Guest hit us with a super chat. He said, "No questions. Y'all are the best." I agree. Can't disagree with that at all. This is the best in the business. Up to 200 likes, which is nice to see as well. Now we go to the Brooklyn side of this one, where we're getting Ben Simmons back. I don't know how we're getting him back, but we are getting him back. He is in for today. Yuta Watanabe still out. Single-digit ownership across the board for the Nets right now. 12% to Durant on FanDuel is a little bit different. He's 10,300. By all means, please get to Kevin Durant at 10,300 on FanDuel. How are you handling Brooklyn? Do you have interest in Simmons? Are these guys just sort of like okay GPP plays that you can't really prioritize? Weird team today.
Yeah, I think they're kind of just okay plays. Kyrie Irving sitting at 8,600. His rates do come down a little bit with Ben Simmons back, but he's still 8,600. He's still likely to play 36 plus minutes. He's still obviously really, really good, but there's just a lot of good guards. So he's showing up around like 7% of the time for me. I think his ownership projections in the same range. We have him right now at, actually we have him at like 5%. So I'm a little bit over, but I think that's around where he should be. He's just another guy where you're not building lineups around him, but he's a very good option to just throw into an individual lineup as a low-owned guy with a really high ceiling. Same can be said for Nick Claxton, who's projected for 4% ownership. Simmons coming back makes his playing time a little bit scarier, but at the same time, prior to Simmons' injury, we were seeing both of them start, and we saw Claxton play 36 minutes. We saw him play like 33 minutes. So there is still clearly a path to him playing 30 plus minutes. He is pretty inexpensive. So, I think he's another guy where you can throw him in here or there, but you're not building around him. Durant, clearly you're going to be happy whenever you get there. I think those are the three guys for the Nets that I would want to get to.
Okay. I'm going to hit on Optimal Prime's question here, just because I think that would be a question that you would get from a lot of people. Said, Adam, you said you wish you were getting to more Capella. Can't you just adjust the cruncher to make that happen, or you don't question the cruncher ever?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to adjust it because he's projected how he's projected. Like, yeah. I'm not going to typically look at things and just say, oh, I want more. I am going to go. So in a situation like this, I'll go back and look at the inputs. Like, if I go back and I'm like, oh, I have Capella at 29 minutes, I could have easily gone to 30. Then in this situation, maybe I'll go ahead and go to 30. Or if I go and actually look at the point per minute rates that I have him at, if they are just lower than he has been without Murray by a lot, then I'm gonna be like, all right, I need to like actually bump this a little bit. But I'm not just gonna like click, I'm not just gonna look and be like, oh man, I really like Capella, even though the numbers say he's not that good of a play. So I'm not gonna just manually change it. And
Nick Claxton out.
I'm getting the impression Claxton is out.
Nick Claxton ruled out for today. So that is wild. At least we're talking about it right now. But I completely agree with you. That is not something that I would be manually changing at all. That's the reason we have the process. That's like our process. That's the reason that we have the projections. If I'm just making tweaks to get what I want, then I could probably save myself a whole lot of time in doing the work before that.
Right. And the thing is too, like when I look at my center exposures right now, just for a point of reference, I have Capella in 10% of the lineups. Between 10 and 13%, I would have Capella, Adams, Gafford, Gobert, Olynyk. Like, I don't want to necessarily... Everything has like a trade-off. If I just say, oh, I want more Capella, then I might just get no Olynyk, even though I like Olynyk. Or I might get, no whoever else. So it's...
You can't just have 830 total percent of guys now.
Right. So, I definitely will check the inputs, but like if the inputs are where I think they should be, I'm not going to just say, oh, give me more.
Patrick Wright, Lofton's projection for the Grizzlies today is precisely 0 and no, unless we missed something and there was like a bus crash or something. Well, let's talk through this Claxton thing. So I assume we just get Ben Simmons starting and Joe Harris also still starting.
Yeah, I'm expecting Simmons starts, Harris starts. Curry's minutes are probably a little bit more stable. He is only 3,600, so he starts to look a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
I also expect that you'll just see like Cam Thomas in the rotation.
I mean, doesn't it just look like everything we've seen recently?
Yeah.
You just take out Nick Claxton and turn him into Ben Simmons?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to end up doing.
Okay. Yeah, to me, we project this team the exact same way we were going to do it before, only we just like scribble out Nick Claxton and write Ben Simmons on that line. Does that make you more interested in Simmons?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you should get more rebounding chances for Simmons now.
Power forward eligibility. I assume he's not limited in any way, especially if he's starting. Okay. Yeah, I don't really see any issue there. I assume they've known Claxton wasn't going to be playing for most of today as well. So
probably. Somebody said Capella becomes chalk. It doesn't. They suck rebounding with Claxton. They're going to suck rebounding without him. The dude weighs like 200 pounds. This will
essentially not change the Clint Capella outlook for this game. Like it'll be a half point maybe that you can change for like any sort of other teams rebounding right now, the way that breaks down. That said, it does like, I still like Clint Capella. I liked him before. I like him now. Nothing changed there either. Any interest in Joe Harris?
What is his price? 4,300. Sure. Not like I really want to get there, but it's another guy you can throw into that Quentin Grimes mix where he's probably going to be less popular than Bogdanovich. He's going to project reasonably well. We got 31 minutes last game. He's going to be fine.
Do you think he's going to make any shots today?
I would think the answer is likely to be yes.
It's got to happen eventually, right?
I mean, he did the other day when he was popular and I didn't play him. So
that's true. All right. Anything else for Brooklyn?
No.
Hopefully that we just keep doing this show and any news that we need to get gets announced the moment that we're talking about that team. That would be incredibly helpful.
Marcus Namparo said he would guess more than 15 minutes for Markieff Morris. There's no reason to guess that. He played 15 last game. TJ Warren only played 11 in that game. So you could get more minutes for Warren. But you have Ben Simmons in now, and Simmons wasn't in last game. So you can pretty much take Claxton's minutes and say these are Ben Simmons, and everything's going to look about the same.
Yeah, you could just as easily get no Markieff Morris today.
Right. Yeah, like they could easily just give you, like Warren played 17 minutes the other day. You could easily get Warren back to like 18 minutes. Cam Thomas played 5 minutes last game. You can give him the rest of those minutes. The other 7, and Morris is just gone.
Yeah, I mean, 2 out of the last 4, the games that Ben Simmons missed, Markieff Morris played nothing, blowout run, and then 12 and 15. Like that, just he is irrelevant. Okay, we go to Sacramento. The Kings are 3.5-point underdogs in Cleveland, 222 total. Did we get an ownership update? Let me look at this quick. 1 hour ago. For Sacramento, we do have a pretty giant Q tag hanging out in the balance. That is De'Aaron Fox. That would create a pretty giant trickle-down effect. There's also a Q tag on Terrence Davis, which would be interesting if he happened to be in and Fox was out, or if, both guys end up out. But if everybody's in, this is sort of like a pretty uninteresting team. Like, they're like a less interesting version of Toronto to me, where like I'm still happy to get to a Sabonis lineup or a Fox lineup, but I can't imagine getting to any real volume.
Yeah, like if they're in, so right now, if the slate started right now, which obviously I did this with Claxton in, but I would have one De'Aaron Fox lineup, and that is my king exposure.
Yeah. When I ran mine earlier, I had one Kevin Huerter lineup. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah. And it's just a situation where like it's not a knock. Obviously De'Aaron Fox is really good. Domantas Sabonis is really good. If you have a lineup with them in it, don't just take them out. If you want to play them. They're good. It's just like there's guys that I'm prioritizing, and then there's a level behind them of like a second tier, and then there's like a third tier. And Fox and Sabonis are just guys where if they randomly sneak into a lineup, great. But there's just so many guys that look better than them for one reason or another.
Right. Like this is where salaries come into play.
Right.
I like Sabonis to score 42 fantasy points today. At 9,300 on this slate, that's tough. If he were 8,300, then he's 30% owned and really, really good. It doesn't change anything about Domantas Sabonis other than how I can efficiently put him in a lineup and play other players.
Right. And like you look at Fox at 8K, and it's a decent price tag, but on the other side of this game, you have Darius Garland for basically the same price. Mitchell's not that much more if he plays, and if he doesn't play, Garland looks a hell of a lot better. You have, Kyrie for not that much more. You just have so many guys that look that are also very good options.
Yeah, Drew Holiday, Terry Rozier, like you're inundated with stuff in and around that price tier. If Fox is out, does somebody jump into like this guy's really interesting now territory?
Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, you would think, right?
I mean, I know he was awful, or if I remember correctly, he was awful the last time we were in this spot, but he's also 3,200, and yeah, I don't really like even the last game. So he's played one game without De'Aaron Fox this year. He played 29 minutes. He had 9 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists against Miami. He was really bad. But if you give me De'Aaron Fox, if you give me De'Aaron Fox at 3,200, if you give me Davion Mitchell at 3,200 for around 30 minutes, I'm probably going to have him in every lineup.
Yep. We are on the same page. Right? Any other trickle down? Malik Monk, Terrence Davis, if he happens to be in. I don't think it matters too much for Sabonis, Huerter, Barnes, Murray, these guys. Maybe Murray gets a couple extra minutes because of it, but
I think it's good for. I think it's probably a positive for Sabonis's rates, sure. But even without Fox on the floor this year, he's at 1.35, so I don't think it's that big of a bump. I do think that it opens the door for more Malik Monk, especially when you think about the differences in style of play between him and Mitchell. Like if Sacramento is playing from behind, which they probably will be, you could easily see it become, we're going to get Monk more minutes to try and score. Terrence Davis also becomes interesting if he's in and Fox is out for that reason, just because Davis is more of an offensive-minded player, and if they just need scoring, they can go to him. So Davis, I don't think is in play, and I don't think Mitchell's in play either if Fox is in. But if Fox is out, Mitchell looks good regardless, and Davis is also an interesting tournament play if Fox is out.
Super chat from the Claw: Siakam and Fultz or Kuzma and Van Vliet? Both.
How does that? Oh, Siakam is really expensive, but Siakam Fultz. Yeah, they're both good, but I would go Siakam Fultz.
Anything else that we should be touching on from Sacramento right now?
I don't think so.
On the Cleveland Cavaliers side, Donovan Mitchell is questionable. There's no Dean Wade, no Ricky Rubio, no Dylan Windler, no Kevin Love, just in case someone isn't hearing me right now. But the real interesting piece of this is that Donovan Mitchell did not go, or was not seen, is the quote, I believe, at shoot-around. I still have him in because it's Donovan Mitchell. Like, if he doesn't want to go to shoot-around, I don't think his coach is going to yell at him the same way Trae Young got yelled at. That said, didn't go to shoot-around. Very live to not play in this game.
Yeah, and it's obviously really big news. Hopefully, we do get this before 7 o'clock. But if he's out, it's going to make Darius Garland look like one of the absolute best plays on the slate. I think at 8,200 against the Kings, it's going to make the rest of Cleveland look better. You know, you can give more minutes to Karis LeVert, you can give more minutes to Chetty Osman, but Darius Garland just looks fantastic if Mitchell doesn't play.
Who starts?
That's an excellent question.
Got to be LeVert, right?
I mean, I kind of think they would just go like Okoro.
Oh God. Feels yeah, I don't know.
I think they like LeVert off the bench.
They should. He's a bench player. Sorry, Karis. Apologies. I wouldn't be surprised if they went LeVert, but
no, I would. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't either. It just strikes me as one of those where I think the immediate answer is Karis LeVert, but a lot of times teams don't like doing that with their sixth guy.
Agreed.
Especially like Kevin Love being out probably makes it more likely they want LeVert with the second unit too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Totally forgot Kevin Love was out. All right, so let's say Donovan Mitchell is in. What do you want to do with Cleveland? $6,600 Jared Allen coming off of 38.5 minutes in his return from a back injury. Looks great already and obviously has a slightly higher minute ceiling than we really expected.
Yeah, I mean, I went 34 minutes on Allen. I got a lot of him. That's one reason why I didn't get to more Capella is that I did project Allen to play 4 minutes more because I just don't know how not to. He's likely to play a lot of minutes and Capella's likely to play less. So Allen's going to look really good here. He's still cheap at 6,600. If Mitchell's in, I like getting to him. I think 8,700 is a very fair price tag. Again, if he's out, Garland looks great. 220 minutes this year for Garland without Mitchell on the floor. 1.3 DraftKings points per minute, 32% usage rate, 37.5% assist percentage. In the games that Mitchell has played, Garland is a little bit over a fantasy point per minute, but again, a really good matchup. So they both look good if Mitchell is in. Garland looks fantastic if Mitchell is out.
Yeah, Ryan, your suggestion is awful because you're apparently not starting Evan Mobley in that lineup. So go ahead and back to the drawing board on that bad boy. And Dean Wade out for the next 12 games, probably not going to start today either. So real swing and a miss. How good does LeVert look at 4,400? Or how good does Chetty look at 3,900? Or how good does Isaac Okoro look if he starts? Is it just like I only want the bench guy that starts?
So Isaac Okoro always is going to look bad. He is 3,100. If he starts, he's at least playable in the sense where you just like stick him at small forward for minimum salary, hope he steals 4 balls and dunks all of them, and that's how you get all of your fantasy points. But
don't let him shoot.
Right. But yeah, I mean, outside of just, like hoping that he gets some defensive stats, which he certainly can, I wouldn't be too excited there. But I do think LeVert and Chetty are interesting. I think they're interesting anyway, but I think they're really interesting if Mitchell is out because there's a lot of minutes that open up and a lot of scoring that needs to be done. With Kevin Love out, I think you get a little bit more playing time from LeVert and Chetty anyway. Yeah. But if you take Mitchell out too, I think that even if LeVert comes off the bench, I think there's a very good chance he's closing. And I think that Chetty's I think a pretty decent chance to start.
Yeah.
If Mitchell's out. So he would look just really good at 3,900 if that's the case. Okay. But like if Mitchell's out, I would expect the closing lineup to be Garland, Mobley, Allen, probably Chetty and LeVert.
Okay. Yeah, I think Isaac Okoro might be the worst shooter in the league. If I remember correctly, he had the worst 3-point percentage of any guy when left wide open. And he is certainly someone that gets left wide open in volume. So that can stabilize pretty quickly.
Is he worse than Joe Harris?
Oh, good question. Good question. The Claw wants to know, is Quickly worth it? Yes.
Sort of.
20-something% owned. Got to be at least mildly worth it.
Yeah. If the slate started right now, I would have on DraftKings, holy shit, would I have any?
There's a fade for you.
Yeah, I apparently would have none. So there's that.
Is Quickly worth it?
The answer here is Quickly projects like a good play. I think he's going a bit over on.
There we go. Jeff Williams wants to know Capella, Simmons, Allen, or Gobert in the 21-20 on DK.
Capella, Simmons, Allen. I mean, I have to say Allen. If the slate started right now, he would be my 6th highest owned player.
I would want to go Allen, Capella, Gobert, Simmons in that order if I were
That is
choosing
also
them.
my order.
Okay. And I would not be surprised. Like, I would not care at all if it were Capella over Allen, but it is Allen over Capella. Simmons is absolutely dead last.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like Gobert, but it's a different price range. Allen, I prefer to Capella, but I also really like Capella. So yeah, to me, it's Allen, Capella, Gobert, Simmons.
I mean, Jared Allen's just live to play 38 minutes again. Like, you can't overlook that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's, I was scared to project him for 34 here, but at the same time, it was just like he has, when he's been healthy, he's sort of averaging that anyway. And then you get what he did last game.
No House
And Kevin Love's
Advantage is
apparently out.
the sponsor of this video. There is a link in the description if you are interested in No House Advantage, and you should be, because they have the 5K to first slam dunk going today. 237 of the 1,200 entries are in right now. It's a $15 contest. You're probably looking at reduced rake, potentially some overlay. You're picking player props here, ranking them on a confidence interval, and we make it incredibly easy for you at Stokastic.com. Not only do we provide you with No House Advantage projections, we take all of the props, we give them percentages, the chances of going over under. You can just pick from that list and build out your lineup. Or you could go to the No House Advantage optimal lineups page and just simply take the work that we've already done for you and import those lineups directly to No House Advantage. That would be my recommendation for you guys. We'll do the legwork for you. You just go ahead and, what I hope to be, profit. I can't guarantee that, but I think this is going to be your best mechanism if you're looking to build a bankroll somewhere, starting with our optimal projections and lineups and loading those into No House Advantage. That's going to be the best thing that you can do right now. So please go check out No House Advantage. Again, link in the description. When you make a deposit up to $50, they will match that deposit. So you can start right away with $100, get yourself a couple entries into the slam dunk. Next one's going to be a little bit easier to talk about. We're starting to hit some of those games that look like garbage. The Los Angeles Lakers, 5-point dogs in Philly, 228 total. The highest owned guy in this game is Anthony Davis at 2.6%. Everybody that's generally available for the Lakers is for today, except for Wenyen Gabriel. Probably have one more day without him. Yeah, T. McBee hit it, by the way. No House Advantage shows 3 times a week for the NFL and for the NBA from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So you can check out that content. We had them today as well. I can't imagine playing the Lakers today on purpose other than LeBron and AD.
Yeah, if the slate started right now, I would have 2 lineups out of 150 with Anthony Davis, and that would be my Lakers.
There you go. There you go. I don't even have anything to add. Like, there's nothing for us to explain about playing Anthony Davis or LeBron James. Everybody gets that at this point. AD has been smashing. I just don't think it matters. This is, I think, the worst spot on the day.
If you are somebody that likes Josh Okogie type players, you should probably play Thomas Bryant with him.
There we go. There we go. And 2,000 people in here, 290 likes, 350. Put it on the board. And let's get away from the Lakers. Let's talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. For the Sixers, no Tyrese Maxey still, George Niang out. Q-tag on Daniel House, which probably has a little bit of a trickle down here. 15% owned James Harden is the highest owned guy on the DK side. 20% owned DeAnthony Melton is the highest owned guy on the FanDuel side. Clearly, if you ever want to play Joel Embiid, by all means, he's getting basically no ownership. Are you getting to anything from Philadelphia?
James Harden's really interesting to me. He's 8,900 on DraftKings, and he played 30 minutes in regulation last game when they said he was going to be limited. So, they stuck to that and they did limit him. But then he also played 8 minutes in double overtime. So he got up to 38 minutes. He played the entire fourth quarter as well, which I just think was good to see from like a conditioning standpoint that he did it. I think there's a pretty good chance that you get like 34 to 36 minutes from him today, just based on the fact that he physically did play 38 minutes. And they've also had several days off since then. So 8,900, I think, is cheap for him. He's about a 1.25 fantasy point per minute guy going back to last year in games that Embiid has played. So I do like that play. Other than that, not much. Embiid clearly, if you get there, is fine. He's showing up in like 7% of my lineups right now. But it's just tough to really want to pay up at center today, I think, because you do have such a strong mid-range, whether that's Allen or Capella or Gobert or some other guys that we haven't talked about yet. So, yeah, just... tough to get there, but certainly looks good. Harden is the guy that I like the most.
one of these like mid-range 6K, 7K centers is going to hang like 55 today just because of volume. So you really need a monster out of someone like Joel Embiid to really offset that. I don't really have much else to ask here. If Daniel House is out, is that going to make anything more interesting for you? Because we have no Niang as well,
Yeah.
so that's like two guys, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Korkmaz, I guess, probably plays more. I don't want that to matter. Thibault probably plays more than 8 minutes.
Got a super chat from Race Fan. $40 single entry on DraftKings. $5,700 left for the utility spot. Where are you going?
5,700.
Yeah. Scrolling. Mason Plumlee?
Yeah, I was gonna say, assuming you have Avdia, Plumlee's my next highest projected guy.
Yeah. I've got Plumlee there, Steven Adams if he plays, Matherin.
Yeah, I've got Avdia, Plumlee, Monte Morris, Fultz, Adams.
Yeah, I guess Avdia counts too. When I saw 4,800, I just kind of like assumed I was going to use all the salary and skip it. But yeah, Avdia would be 2. All right, we'll keep it moving. Detroit Pistons, 10.5-point underdogs in Memphis, 227 total for the Pistons. Still just no Cade. Doubtful tag on Isaiah Livers. Highest owned guy on this game, FanDuel or DraftKings, is Beef Stew at 3.5%. I might have gave the Lakers too much credit because the Pistons look equally garbage.
Yeah, they do. I actually got to like 15% Jaden Ivey in the crunch that I just did, but I do think I was a little high on his minutes. I'd gone 32. I've cut him back to 30. I think that's going to pull him back a little bit. But if I were to get to the Pistons, I think it's either Ivey, Boyan, or Stewart. Boyan, you can't read into his 20 minutes last game. He got ejected. He's been very, very good without Cade Cunningham, but I just don't really think this is the slate where I want to be getting to Detroit.
Boyan playing chess instead of checkers there, just getting the gate and getting the hell out of there, get an early shower and go the hell home. I don't have anything else to add here for Detroit. They look legitimately terrible. For the Memphis Grizzlies, we have a Q tag on Steven Adams. That is incredibly important for this slate because if he's out, it creates arguably the best play on today's slate. Otherwise, there's just not a lot of ownership coming in here. There's nothing really happening on the DK side other than Brandon Clark. On the FanDuel end, Dylan Brooks is 17% owned at 6,300, which feels a little healthy, but obviously a good spot. Dylan Brooks does like to shoot. Do you like anything from Memphis, assuming they are at full strength?
Yeah, I like Morant. I like Trey a little bit more just because he's a little bit less expensive, but you're getting around 1.5 fantasy points per minute from Morant in these games without Desmond Bane. He's basically putting up the production that we're hoping to get from Trae Young without DeJounte Murray. So certainly happy to get there. Steven Adams looks decent. I mentioned I was getting around 10% of him if he's in. That price tag is just, pretty reasonable for somebody that rebounds as well as he does and is in a really favorable spot against Detroit. If he is out, Brandon Clark becomes probably the best play, highest owned play on the slate at 3,900, has power forward eligibility. I said it this morning. I said it the other day. I guarantee somebody's going to make a comment like last time Brandon Clark was chalk. He sucked. Brandon Clark's really easy. He does not step on the floor when Steven Adams is on the floor. So when people play him because Jaren Jackson is out, they are just making a mistake. When you play him because Steven Adams is out, it's different because he's most likely going to start. He's most likely going to play 30 minutes as opposed to just playing the minutes that Steven Adams doesn't play. He's a point per minute guy. He's going to look fantastic if Steven Adams is out. If Steven Adams is in, he's still playable because he's 3,900. He's probably going to play like 20 minutes. Value isn't great on this slate right now, but probably the best play on the slate if Steven Adams is out.
Yeah, just an easy guy to want to play. You get that power forward center eligibility, 3,900. Even on FanDuel, if Adams is out, 4,600 for Brandon Clark is not enough. So, anything else that we should be touching on for Memphis? Other than the Adams news, these guys kind of just look okay, and they are ripe to just lay a beating on the Pistons as well.
Yep.
All right, we will do something after I look at the run sheet and remember if I'm supposed to talk about the next game or not. I am. The Phoenix Suns are 1.5-point favorites in New Orleans, 228 total. For Phoenix, it's standard issue stuff now. We've got Chris Paul back in that last game. Cam Johnson still out. Dwayne Washington out. DeAndre Ayton, 10% owned on DraftKings. Mikal Bridges, 20% owned on FanDuel. He is 6K. You get shooting guard, small forward. I have some interest in that, but I think he is basically properly owned at 20%. I get him anyway, so it didn't really matter. Do you really see yourself getting to much Phoenix here? They seem to be appropriately priced.
Yeah, I think they are. DeAndre Ayton, I'm getting to around 20%. Certainly happy with that, but he's another one where, like, he's at 20% right now. When I rerun everything before lock, if he went from 20% to 10% and Capella went to 20%, or one of these other guys, it wouldn't be surprising. They all just look pretty similar. Ayton, I think, is a pretty solid option here, though. I had said this morning I'm really intrigued by Chris Paul's playing time last game, and I actually am getting to a lot of him because we don't have him projected for any ownership. He is $6,600. They said last game he was going to be limited. He then proceeded to play 17 minutes in the first half, play a normal rotation in the third quarter, and then just not come back in a blowout. I think you're getting normal minutes from Chris Paul today, and he's 6,600 with no ownership.
Normal?
I went 32.
So you gotta be getting a lot then,
I got
right?
22%.
Okay.
I might cut that back to 30 now that I've seen how much of him I'm going to get if I go 32. But like 30 is probably where I should be.
Yeah.
But even in 30 minutes, I think I'm going to get there. I'm just really like, I know they said he was going to be limited, but he played 8 minutes to open the game, played 9 minutes to close the first half, played 7 minutes to open the third quarter, left the game at the same time as Bridges, Craig, Booker, Ayton, and never came back because they were beating the hell out of Boston. He was not playing a rotation as if his minutes were going to be limited unless they were just not planning on having Chris Paul close that game.
You don't think he's going to be tired from running through Kim K's mind all night?
And the other thing, it would
there
be
are
kind
worse
of
shots to take, by the way. So I'm not. I don't know what I think here, but I like it.
And so the other thing with his rotation is, it's not like they were in a position to just like play him more minutes in the first half than you would have expected because they knew he wasn't going to need to play the fourth quarter. The game didn't really get out of hand until the third quarter. So they played him 17 minutes in the first half, knowing or assuming that, you're going to be in a competitive game. And I assumed they were going to have him close. So I don't know. I think 30 is probably where I need to be instead of 32, but I think he's playing close to normal minutes.
Yeah, I think 32 is probably a hair aggressive. And the way that this slate is set up, 30 is also going to work out pretty well for you. Now, if Chris Paul smashes, I'm certainly getting that DM when I wake up in the morning. But
it's going to be when Chris Paul plays 34 minutes and Jaden Ivey plays 34 minutes, I'm going to be really pissed off.
I'm going to be getting a bunch of Kanye Instagram posts or something from you, man. You guys are going to be on the same page.
But no, 32 would definitely be wrong. Like, he's played 11 games with Devin Booker this year. He's averaged 29.5 minutes per game. Giving him 32 here is wrong. So I'm actually glad I caught that. But 30 is going to get me to him as well.
Okay. Anything else you want to touch on for Phoenix?
No.
On the New Orleans Pelicans side, we have no Brandon Ingram. We have no Herb Jones. And potentially, if I can scroll to New Orleans here, we could be without Jose Alvarado, who is questionable. I have not seen anything on Alvarado just yet, so I still have him in. Daniel House ruled out. We kind of touched on that already, so I don't think that we need to get into it. There's no ownership coming into the Pelicans side, but I find them to be like mildly interesting GPP plays. If this game is competitive, I think there's something there. I just don't know how to pick one individual guy from the Pelicans.
Do you want to know who my second highest owned center is?
I mean, I assume you're about to tell me that it's Joe Bell.
Yeah. By the way, Ben Simmons limited to 20 minutes, so that changes things a bit.
Sure does.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of Joval right now. I went 26 minutes on him. We've seen his playing time ramp up a bit recently. We've also seen them playing Larry Nance alongside him last game, as you pointed out this morning. And the absence of Herb Jones, in addition to the absence of Brandon Ingram, the potential absence of Alvarado, I think it's likely you see that again here. And so I went ahead and gave him that extra, minute or two at 6K and not much ownership. He's looking really, really good for me.
This is hilarious.
What?
They met like a celebrity hangout. They didn't do anything. Chris Paul isn't immature enough to want to do anything with Kim K.
Call me immature.
Yeah. I feel like I should make like fart jokes right now just because, I mean, come on, man. That's not how that works. You want to tell me that he just wants to be like faithful to his wife? Like at least give me that. But no, that's, I've never thought once in my life, like, I'm too mature for this one.
Yeah, agreed. Like if you want to say Chris Paul's like a really good guy and he didn't cheat on his wife, sure, that's viable. If you think that Chris Paul has no issue cheating on his wife and just like doesn't want to bang Kim K, then you've lost your mind.
You are aggressively incorrect. Wow, that would be special. I mean, surely Chris Paul has seen what everybody else has seen. I didn't like her less after that. Alrighty. I mean, I love the Joe Val take. We talked about it before. The fact that him and Nance are potentially playing minutes alongside each other are interesting. If Alvarado is out, like I think that just makes the Joe Val Nance combo. Not that these guys should have anything to do with each other, but I think it just makes it slightly more interesting as well. If Alvarado is out, does that open up anybody new for you?
Man, there are a lot of people in chat that I guess tell themselves the reason that they're not hooking up with people is because they don't want to.
Well, I mean, these are also people that tell themselves they like know the NBA, so I'm not surprised there's additional delusions.
Yeah. Yeah, no, from the rest of the Pels, like Zion looks fine. McCollum looks fine. You mentioned it this morning that McCollum has played like shit this year, which he has. But, the opportunity should still be there. The price tag is still reasonable. But for me, Joe Val is the guy I'm getting to the most. I do also actually think that Larry Nance is an interesting tournament play. He's 3,900. He's getting 5% ownership. If they're going to play alongside each other, he's like, I went 26 minutes on both of them. I might cut that back to like 24 on Nance, but either way, I think that you actually can play them. I don't want to play them together. I think that kind of cuts down your like paths to success, but I do like playing them both individually. Producer
extraordinaire on the back end, pun intended, Chris Karen with the poll. Are you too mature for Kim K? Yeah, no, not quite. 1, 2, or 12, however we want to do this. Fading Kim K. She's too chalky. The field's stupid. Brandon Katz. Oh, it's amazing. Anything else you want to touch on for the Pels?
No.
All right. Since I know that we don't have a ton to talk about for Milwaukee and Dallas, we'll get there eventually for Minnesota, Utah. If you guys want the best deal that we are offering out there right now, then you guys should sign up at BetMGM if you are in a legal betting state and you've never done that before. Link in the description. Click it. You got to make a qualified deposit. It's got to be at least $10. My recommendation to you, load up at least 1,000. Well, load up 1,000 if you can, because your first bet is a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Take advantage. Take your shot on an underdog too. If it wins, great. There's your bankroll, the 2K plus. If it loses, they will make it up to you in $1,000 worth of free bets, or as many dollars as you put on that first bet. That's like a really, really, really good deal for BetMGM. You also get 2 free months of Stokastic plus Platinum. That's an even better deal. It's certainly better than Eric's stupid picture, which is on the screen right now.
Clearly not too mature to smash Kim K.
No, not at all. Please, guys, I'm begging you. Click the link if you can. Sign up at BetMGM. Take advantage of this deal. It's as good as it gets. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 1.5-point dogs in Utah. 234 total. No Karl Anthony Towns. No Taurean Prince. Teens ownership going to Russell, Gobert, McDaniels, Jalen Noel. We got Kyle Anderson in the starting lineup. I think he's interesting. I would happily play Anthony Edwards all the time, but at $9K, probably priced appropriately. Utah's defense isn't very good unless they're starting Walker Kessler, which could make them a little bit better. But I like all things Minnesota today. I just don't know if any one guy is like the guy.
Yeah, I like them too. I'm just not getting to a lot of them. Kyle Anderson, actually the guy I got to the most on DraftKings right now. I expect him to start. I gave him like 28 minutes. I think he looks fine. I think also by the time we get to lock, I probably won't have too much of him because you're going to get better value opening up. But I think he's a reasonable option. Rudy Gobert, we talked about, looks good coming off of a big game finally without Karl Anthony Towns. I have him in for 32 minutes. He could certainly play more. He's been about a 1.1 fantasy point per minute guy this year. If you get the Anthony Edwards, great. He's averaged about 1.25 DraftKings points per minute without Towns. Noel looks like a reasonable value option. There's not one guy that stands out, but there's just stuff I'm getting to. One thing that did stand out from last game is that D'Angelo Russell's minutes got pulled back again with Jordan McLaughlin in the rotation. Even with Towns out, I thought that maybe you would just get a little bit more of them playing alongside each other and them wanting Russell out there for more minutes, but he lost minutes again. So I have him at 30. I just think that's noteworthy because I'd been going a bit higher than that on his projections.
Irving, Harris, O'Neal, Durant, Simmons. So Simmons is starting.
Daron Sharp is available.
Yeah. I mean, Simmons, if we're to believe that, Simmons is probably just going to play 5 minutes at the start of each quarter.
Yeah. Sharp is 3K flat, though.
Okay.
If he played
24 minutes?
Well, I was thinking 16, 18.
Oh, okay. That works. Well, I mean, oh, yeah, Markieff Morris. Sorry. In my mind, Markieff Morris didn't exist. So probably much ado about nothing there. 2 super chats. Teddy Wayman wants to know, Dylan Brooks over under 19.5 real points. I have it literally on that number, 19.5. So I cannot give you an answer.
I have a slight under.
Okay.
By less than a point.
And then only 63% of the clowns said no to the poll. Thank you, Chris. Crazy people. Crazy people. Other super chat from Goody. Sorry to go backwards, but ownership and negative leverage on Randall is kind of making me want to pivot to Kuzma. Thoughts for a DK GPP 20 max?
I mean, I think they're both good. Randall's kind of one of those plays where even if he's going a bit overowned, I don't really care because I think he's just one of the best plays.
Okay. There we go. Anything else you want to touch on for the Minnesota side here?
No. And I do want to kind of clarify. So Ryan Houston said, so does that mean you do or don't like Sharp? I'm not sure yet. I haven't, if I go through the rotation and I am confident you're getting 16 to 18 minutes from him and other value doesn't open up, then I don't mind gambling there. But 1, I think other value is probably going to open up. 2, I don't think I'm going to end up being confident in his minutes. And 3, you still have Daniel Gafford and other guys to get to as well. So I think he is, if other value doesn't open up, I like him in the sense of he shows up in a lineup here or there and you hope to get really lucky.
Sorry, gray-haired gaming, but I got to read this. He said, I'm legit old and couldn't fill that hole. I can't, man. Utah Jazz. Mike Conley is back. Jordan Clarkson is probable. We don't know the status yet on Lauri Markkanen, but Colin Sexton is out. We had Clarkson at 15% ownership on DK at 7,300. 31% owned on FanDuel at 6,600. I'm there for it. How are you handling the Utah Jazz? This is a great game environment. You might have a lot of your players already used by the time you get to this 9 o'clock game. What are you doing with Utah?
So first, De'Aaron Fox and Terrence Davis are both out. So speaking of the value that was going to open up, just got it.
There you go. We'll let the live before lock guys break that bad boy down.
Yeah. As far as Utah goes, Conley, I put him in for 28 minutes. I don't really know what to do with him. It makes him look okay, but not anything that I expect to really get much of. Clarkson should play a lot. I got 7% of him. My guess at the starting lineup is that Walker Kessler stays, but even giving him 24 minutes on this slate, I still only got 6% because there are just so many good centers. So, it's an interesting tournament play if you project him to start and he does start because at least last I checked, there was not consensus in the industry of who was going to start here. So kind of interesting. Markkanen, if he's in, looks fine. He's actually the guy I'm getting to the most from Utah if he is in.
Oh, Red Skittles, good work. And look, honestly, even if there's 24 minutes for Kessler, he looks a little bit less interesting because we just created some value in Sacramento. That's one other spot that you can pay down to also still get to other centers. So that's it. What do you think about the Clarkson ownership on FanDuel? 6,600, 30% owned.
I think that's a broken price.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have anything to add there. You ready to close this out? Turn it over to live before lock?
Yep. Don't like Milwaukee. Don't like Dallas. We're done.
Pretty much. I'm going to intro it anyway, just for the people, but hit that like button one last time. Let's get that number over 400. Milwaukee Bucks are 1-point favorites in Dallas, 224 total. The highest owned guy on FanDuel is Drew Holiday, or on DraftKings is Drew Holiday at 3.5. The highest owned guy on FanDuel is Giannis at 3.8%. He's only 11.7. I don't think that that's crazy to want to pay up for today if we start to unlock a little bit more value, but ultimately, I find it very difficult to want to get to Milwaukee. This is one of the worst game environments you can find.
Yeah, it sucks. For Milwaukee, obviously, if you get to Giannis, great. The guy that I think I would get to first from Milwaukee and that I liked most is Drew Holiday, but there's nothing that really stands out there. And then on the Dallas side, same thing. On FanDuel, Luka's at least reasonably priced and you can get there, but on DraftKings, I can't pay $13K for him, I don't think, unless half the teams start ruling guys out. But I have basically nothing from Dallas.
How did you get to Dallas? I didn't even intro Dallas yet.
Yeah, I just ended this shit.
Okay. Well, Dallas has 6% owned Tim Hardaway, so at least he's pulling some love. And I got to get one quick thought for you. 11,800 for Luka. He is 15% owned on FanDuel. I assume that seems like totally reasonable to you.
Yeah, I said I liked him on FanDuel.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked that you even went to FanDuel unprompted. That's incredible. You should be better at the shows normally. Would you rather get to Giannis or Luka on FanDuel? Because Giannis is 3.8% owned, small forward, power forward, 11-7. Luka 11-8, point guard, shooting guard.
Probably Luka.
Okay.
Although, like, there's a lot more good guards than forwards today.
Yeah. It starts to get kind of interesting there that Giannis is just pulling nothing in what should be a competitive game. Like, these guys aren't separated by all that much, if anything. Well, that'll do it. Out. DeAndre Hunter out. We will let the live before lock guys handle it. And Jorge will let the live before lock guys hit your super chat as well. Good luck tonight, everybody. Thank you to No House Advantage for being the sponsor. Please, everybody, enjoy your weekend. We will talk to you later. Don't go anywhere. Stay on this stream.
Oh, it's that time of week again. We're inducting you fine friends into the Stokastic Hall of Fame, giving out some free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum. And all you got to do to get it is download the Stokastic profile picture at stokastic.com/avatar. Tweet your wins at Stokastic, HOF. It's Stokastic Hall of Fame on Twitter, and win a free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum. $120 value when you finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more. Or if you got a nice win, maybe it doesn't qualify and you're just looking for a shout out, maybe we can oblige. Let's get into it. Some great ones heading into this week. First up, Bob Kramatola. We'll call him Bob C here. In the 333K Mega 8, 100K to first, takes it down in the NBA. Woke up to this today. What a way to wake up. Thank you, Stokastic Hall of Fame. Yeah, fantastic way to wake up, Bob. And then Steve Buzzard also woke up to something nice. Woke up aiming for another milli. Unfortunately, came up a bit short. That's Steve's like 19th six-figure win this season. Man's working hard behind the scenes. It's Stokastic every day, so you know what tools he's using. And then finally coming up here, I thought we had another waking up, but we don't. Thanks for assisting me in understanding DFS. Love it. Punched a ticket. Jay Lusty punching a ticket on FanDuel. Huge win. I told you we had some big wins this week. And then taking a trip to the Odd Chopper streets over in our premium Discord, Hiro Sandozo. How about this one? This is out of control. I think this is like $200 into over 20,000. I haven't done the math, but it sure looks that way. Saying you can use this for Odd Shopper Hall of Fame, and we will. Congrats, man. Massive win. And Ed Monk, 777. I'm in shock. 2 lineups in the $4. Handmade. No way I thought I'd take second for 7,500. First day using $5 1-week trial. Yeah, we just had that $5 1-week trial. Seems to be working out for you, Ed. Watching you guys for over 5 years, never gave up. You're the best in the industry. Thanks, man, and congratulations. And then how about Jason Pass? I won the Cincy versus Tennessee quarter arcade on Sunday. It's not much, but 300x. And remember, guys, it doesn't matter if you're entering with a quarter, a dime, whatever, a nickel, a dollar. As long as it's top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more and you're not chopping more than 3 ways, you're getting the free month. You're getting up here on the board, just like Jason said. This allows me to level up. So my next contest, my next wins will be even bigger. Thanks for all the great advice. And how about Michael Clement? Clem 822. Thank you guys. Best tools, all caps, in the industry. Special thanks to Neil Orfield and Draftaholics for the Thursday night live before lock. Bam. First place, chopping with himself. Talking what, $9,500 there. Huge win on Thursday Night Football. And to wrap this one up, it's Nick Lepre, Notorious Fantasy himself, in the Pat Mayo Experience Listener League. $5,000. Man, what a way to close out week 13. Remember, stokastic.com/avatar. Tweet your wins at Stokastic Hall of Fame. Use the avatar wherever it is you play. And when you win, get that free month. We'll induct you right here. Welcome to all of you, and welcome back to those of you who have been here before. We'll see you next week for another round.
It's a good idea. It's lovely. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to NBA Live Before Lock, presented by No House Advantage. It's because it's what the TV says. I'm Eric Lindquist, excited to be back with you after my one-day NBA Live Before Lock hiatus. Looking forward to this one. We've got some crazy stuff, some news that just broke that's going to create a lock button play for me, that's for sure. But we've got my boy Gundacker. Yes, Gundacker, your boy. Yeah, see what I kind of did there? I didn't try to, but it happened anyway. Your boy, how you doing, my dude? Missed you.
It's been a long time. Glad to be back, and I've been, like you said, looking for value, and I think we just got it moments before this show started. So I'm kind of happy that I don't have to have as much Denny Avija as I did 30 minutes ago.
Oh, you were gonna be Team Israel.
I didn't want to be.
Yeah. But you can be. You're not.
I mean, a little bit, yeah. I mean,
what is this? A Palestinian-Israel combative conversation? No. Everybody gets along here on NBA Live Before Lock. Everybody's getting along nicely here.
This got awkward real fast. This is a new record.
We're doing just fine. Hit that like button too, regardless of what you think about the world. And I'm not intelligent enough to speak on such things. I'm here talking about make-believe teams and salaries. And I know that we got some news just before this show broke. Davion Mitchell just became the starting point guard for the Sacramento Kings. Seems like a good spot to invest at 3,200 on DraftKings.com, Gun.
Yeah. Smile, sparkly tooth, thumbs up.
What?
I don't know. You were trying to lob me something? I didn't know.
Yeah, I was trying to lob you. I was going to just ask you what you thought about De'Aaron Fox being ruled out and then going to Davion Mitchell in bulk.
I just lobbed it to you. You lobbed it back. Yes, I was very, very much needing some value on this slate that I didn't hate. Like, there was some value, sure. And hopefully, maybe some more opens up in the next hour or so. But Davion Mitchell makes me feel a little bit better than what I was leaning on at the percentages I had a minute ago. Well, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, the Denny Avdia play, as I do recall. But guys, we're excited to talk through this entire slate. We go position by position. The guys did an awesome job before us. Got to catch a little bit of that. But hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bells. We get going. Nice to be on a show without Greg for once, because he's just been so mean to me. I'm curious what he said about me being sick yesterday. I have a feeling I don't want to go back and watch. That's just a feeling that I get. So, speaking of which, my God, just about threw up live on air there. That was cool. Good start for the old NBA Live Before Lock streams. We got Chris Karen behind the virtual glass there producing today, filling in for Tyler Zander. Tyler, hope your internet gets well soon. I think that's a thing that we can throw out there into the ether. But let's just start with this. Sacramento, they just became a value-laden spot. Not just Davion Mitchell that we want to be looking at, but where else can we possibly be looking at on the Sacramento team in the absence of not just De'Aaron Fox, but Terrence Davis as well?
I think the first option for me is looking at Malik Monk, who I was already going to land on a decent chunk anyway, but he would also probably share a little bit more of ball handling responsibility and more minutes here. So Malik Monk alongside Davion Mitchell, those are the two I'm most intrigued with. Cleveland, I don't really love attacking them more than I need to, but I think the prices are too nice here to miss out on a slate where we do need to pinch pennies a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, well, not really as much anymore when you get a 3,200 Davion Mitchell. I will say that it might have opened up some things and some avenues getting elsewhere. What happens on these massive slates, though, you do get this mid-range that just looks like a smash on a 10-gamer, and that is no exception today. They've been much more aggressive with the likes of Luka Doncic and Giannis, pricing them up. $13K for Luka now on DraftKings.com. That is a real number that exists in the world. That's a thing that we're going to have to be contemplating. But Let's start with some guard plays here. Davion Mitchell feels like a freebie. I'm going to probably play 100% of him. I don't really see a way around it now at this number. But we have Bogdan Bogdanovic, Kelly Oubre with the multi-positional eligibility as well. Both those guys shooting guard small forward on DraftKings. I know you're more of a FanDuel guy. Jalen Brunson kind of standing out for any spot. Emmanuel quickly, Monty Morris in the absence of Beal. How are we feeling about the chalkier plays at guard today?
The Bogdan one was interesting to me because I thought without DeJounte, for value's sake, it looked well. And 25 minutes was encouraging. They did just release news saying he would still be on a limit, but coach speak, and is 25 minutes still enough at 4,100 for me to have a couple shares of? I think so. Maybe that alert will spook some people. As far as the ownership being in part of the equation, I think Jalen Brunson looks really good to me as well. That quarter owned is not something I love, but maybe that'll go down now that the Davion stuff will start to reshuffle the guard ownerships. And if we can get that down to under 20%, I would feel a lot better about it.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to get that. That's not going to happen.
Mm.
Maybe if we just continually get more value, but the value that has showed up, I just like more now. So
Yeah.
That's kind of the other part of the coin. I mean, it's one of those slates where you look at the boom bust tool, and I think that we'll get to forward. We'll have the Julius Randle conversation because I think he's very difficult at this kind of a number with the role that we're seeing him play up against Charlotte. Really hard for me to get away from that. Denny Avdia, I think I was going to find a path to get away from a little bit more, but now with Davion Mitchell at guard, I think everything else becomes relatively muted except for Bogdanovic. I still think he's going to be a good play. I mean, it's been very, very early in the season. He's had two duds surrounded by one decent outing there. That 22-minute, 26.25 up against OKC. But I still think you're going to want to get to him regardless of what news shows up. 4,100 is just a really low tag on a guy who's going to start seeing those minutes ramp up. Got to 25 against the Knicks, even though it looked abysmal. 3 for 16 from the field. I mean, you flip that into shooting 50%. Not an unrealistic situation, and 4,100 Bogdanovic is a smash. So I don't think we should really get away from him regardless of what news shows up. I think he'll still remain a good play, but who are the guards that you're getting to the absolute most on this slate?
In DraftKings, before the Davion Mitchell news came out, I actually was warmed up to Markelle Fultz quite a bit, under 5K. I didn't like how much I was getting to because I do think there's a lot of volatility in that Magic rotation. So now I can actually come down and feel better about it. But I do think 30 minutes of Markelle Fultz is likely to be a thing tonight. And he can be a point per minute guy. And I think under 5K, that was something that I was squeezing out of. But that's going to drop down a little bit. I'll probably be about 15% now, where I was at 25% before the show started. But it's just going to be a whole lot of Davion Mitchell and then spinning the wheel on guys like John Morant, Trae Young for me. I'm not going to get too cute at the point guard position tonight.
Yeah, Monty Morris, 5,300 for DraftKings purposes, I think is just still a smash there. That's a pretty tough spot for me to get away with or to get away from. I think just the Davion Mitchell having shooting guard eligibility. I keep bringing him up, but he's like the new addition to the family today in terms of the chalk plays, and it's just going to pair nicely. Getting to some Monty Morris and him, going to have a lot of money to spend elsewhere, especially you throw Bogdanovic into some lineups. I'm rerunning some stuff as we're going right now. I'm not getting to nearly as much of the mid-tier, like the 7 and 8K players. Even Tyrese Halliburton, I'm not getting to as much there at 9,200 as what I was before this news. We're waiting on Donovan Mitchell here. We're on Donovan Mitchell watch. Apparently in chat, people are saying he's warming up. I'm trying to find stuff on Twitter regarding him right now. That is a massive piece because 8,200 Darius Garland would not be bypassing him by any stretch of the imagination. Would be getting to about as much as I possibly could. There's one other guard that I'm getting to a lot, and I'm curious what you think about him. James Harden at 8,900 played 39 minutes right out of the gate. He's sub 9K, no Tyrese Maxey. How am I not just seeing him near 25, 30% on this slate? He's sub 15%. Everything is telling me to play more of this guy.
Yeah, I agree with that take wholeheartedly. I think the absences in that backcourt can only help him. I love the fact that we can remove any minute concerns that we had, and I expect him and or Embiid to have big games tonight. So I think that's one of the more obvious in hindsight type of plays. I'm at 18% right now. And under 9K, yeah, I think there's a real shot at 50 fantasy points here, and that's about what I got as a soft projection. So I'm with you. I like Harden quite a bit.
I'm updating some stuff on my end. Might not be playing 100% Davion Mitchell, but going to be playing a lot of this guy. Just saying. I mean, we're putting him around 27, 28 minutes. I mean, Malik Monk's existence, that is the guy that is just breaking everything for me. You hit that on the head. I am just getting an unbelievable amount of this individual alongside Harden, alongside some other guys. Are there any spend ups that you really want to make way for at guard today?
I think Harden's the most interesting to me. Trae Young, like pre-flop, you feel like makes a lot of sense without DeJounte. I do just kind of got that something may not work out the way I want it to here.
I thought you had that feeling in your knee.
The feeling of my bad knee with the storm coming in on Trae Young to not live up to the expectation. But I think James Harden's like my favorite 8+ K. I will be really invested on Garland if Mitchell is out. I think that would just make too much sense, especially since I'm going to be as invested in the King side of things too. I think 8,200 is way too soft if there's no Mitchell. I think you start at 40 points and go from there, especially on DraftKings, implying the double. But yeah, I would say if we lose Mitchell, it'd be Garland and Harden for me on the high end. And then I like Ja, but I do have scoreboard concerns there. And then yeah, Halliburton, the same thing, man. It's like my favorite player, but 9,200, he's just falling through the cracks.
I want to get to more. I played this guy pretty much every single slate, but what happens when you have more guard spots getting taken up by these Sacramento Cats is it's hard for me to get up to that top end because forward just becomes more of the mid-range Julius Randles, and then my spend ups seem to be coming from there as well. We'll get to that in a second here, but first, almost 3,000 people now. We've ramped this up another 500 since the last show got over. Hit that like button. We're so happy to have you guys here talking through this NBA slate. 43 minutes to rock. This is actually my first time hosting an NBA show this year because I'm generally in the analyst chair, filling in for Greg here in that regard. Host all the time for NFL, so not that big of a deal. But what happens is I got to get my super chats caught up. Small things, small little tweaks. Got to figure it out. But we've got this leftover from the last show. Jorge Yakum, $5. Our guy. Good to see you. Yakome. Sorry, there we go. Fave center and power forward for DK single entries. So take a look at that one. Center power forward might be Brandon Clark coming up here soon, but we shall see with the Steven Adams news. How you feeling about power forward center? Who's your favorite play there for single entry?
It's Julius Randle, but that's going to come with ownership. Just such a strong matchup at such a strong price that in single entry, I'd take that and get cute somewhere else.
I agree. I see no way that wouldn't be there. I will put Kyle Kuzma kind of into the conversation maybe for single entry. If you're looking at getting different at like one spot, we'll talk about him here in a second as well. Daniel Gafford's pulling ownership, but I think he would be another guy you can maybe think about. We'll get there. We'll get there here next. But assuming this is from Goody 499, assuming if Fox and Donovan Mitchell are both out, well, we got Fox out. Donovan Mitchell, we're waiting. Let's just assume they're both out. That nearly makes Davion and Darius near lock status DK 20 max. Yeah, I have a lot of Malik Monk. I have a lot of Davion Mitchell. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with Davion Mitchell's minutes, because if I put him and ramp him up to where he was last year at times, it's just impossible to get away from him. But if you put him in for like 27, 28 minutes on the rates that we've had this season and playing through Sabonis, who wasn't around at parts of time last year for him, I think you can get away from it a little bit more. But assuming that you're going to get Donovan Mitchell out, how do you feel about Darius Garland being a lock play?
I feel really strongly about that.
Yeah,
I think double-double, his assist rate is going to go through the roof, and he's been picking up a lot of scoring anyway in this season. Has been a revelation. So I think he has a real shot at pushing 50 fantasy points if we can keep this game competitive.
You sounded like it's the couple at the beginning of Wedding Crashers when they're doing their little divorce thing. That would be That would be not good. You are flying them to go see your whore. Well, she's not afraid to express herself sexually, if that's what you mean. Her name is Chastity. She is white trash. Missed you. We're going to the Claw 28. Send a $2 super chat. Best point guard on DK, 7,600 and under for double ups. Thanks. You're welcome. 7,600 and under. Weird to say Malik Monk now. Weird to say it, but he's way under it. You should probably be playing him in double ups.
Yeah, a question like that makes me think he doesn't want to leave that much money, and you'd probably, if you go Monk or Davion, you'd probably have to reroute those funds somewhere else. But yeah, the 7K range at the point guard purely is kind of uncomfortable. Maybe Jalen Brunson.
Let's see. Yeah, Jalen Brunson, fantastic play for double ups as well. We'll kind of build your lineups as you go because we'll talk about our highest owned players. There's some really good chalk. There's a little questionable chalk too. We'll get there too. Malakar just came in and sub-bombed. So absolute sub-bomb by our guy Malakar up there in Michigan, handing things out from the glove state. Appreciate you, my guy. And then the Claw 28, ironically enough, the Claw. Point guard, we just talked about that one. He also said best forward play on DK for 500 and under. I'm going to go 5,000 and under. Best forward play 5,000 and under. If it's different or you need something else, let me know. But 5,000 and under, how are we feeling about forward?
Jalen Smith?
Boy Denny. Oh, he's out, isn't he?
Oh, is he? I had Isaiah. Wait, I might have got
Isaiah Jackson. Sorry, yeah, Jalen Smith's in. Yeah, I'm crazy. It was Isaiah Jackson that got ruled out.
Yeah, that's right at 5K. So that'd probably be my short answer there.
I like that. A lot. Eric entertaining himself. Always Stephen Leibowitz. What else am I supposed to do? Plan B Smoothies. Long time no see. Gun. Love you, brother.
What's up, Plan B Smoothies? Incredible name, as always. Probably illegal, but incredible.
Depends on what state you're in, probably.
It'd probably be all right in Texas. So
probably.
Yeah.
Probably encouraged. Let's go to the rest of guard. Anything else that the people need to know here at the top end of guys that you're getting to on the popular end before we start talking about our favorite tournament plays?
No, I guess maybe we should guard in general or point guard.
Oh, just guard. We put them all together.
All
what
right,
do you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. A little bit of that.
This guy, hybrid. I mean, Anthony Edwards, but I guess we could cover that in the forward spot as well. But him. Yeah, Edwards is going bananas right now with the situation up there with no cat.
Yeah, how are we feeling about Kyrie Irving today? Sub 10%, and yeah, I'm getting to quite a bit of him. Sub 9K. No Claxton. That doesn't really mean anything. It's not like Kyrie's going to benefit on the rebounding end of things, averaging sub 4.5 per game this season, but sub 10% on a guy with the kind of upside that Kyrie does at 8,600. I know Simmons is back in the fray. I don't think he's going to affect him all that much in just 20 minutes of court time today, but I feel pretty good about him as a spend up for tournament purposes. Wanted to throw him out there. Somebody that I'm getting to a little bit more. Anything else you want people to know about guard?
No, I think the Kyrie calls are actually a pretty decent shout out, especially considering the Hawks defense without Hunter and DeJounte is going to be a little bit more attackable. I actually have concerns about that scoreboard as well. But yeah, I'm not worried about Ben Simmons 20 minutes, especially when he's going to be more so focused on front court duties. I think if Kyrie drops, 30 plus real points tonight, it makes a lot of sense considering the situation.
Well, I'm worried about people not getting free stuff. And you want to know how you get a lot of free stuff all at once right now? Is by heading to BetMGM. We have in the video description box below a lovely little link. You simply click on that. If you're in a betting eligible state, y'all, you want to get involved in this because you're watching a DFS show. We have 2 months of Stokastic Platinum that you will get when you take advantage of this offer at BetMGM. Here's what you're going to do. You have up to a $1,000 risk-free bet when you sign up. So that's your first free thing you get. But then you get 2 more free things. They're called 2 free months of Stokastic Platinum when you sign up, make a deposit, and make your first paid wager at BetMGM. And again, $1,000 risk-free bet. Take advantage of that. there's no better time than now. We've got the World Cup going. We've got the NBA and NFL coming up this weekend. Next weekend, we've got Saturday NFL. We've got Sunday NFL. We've got Monday, Thursday, every single day. There is something massive going on in the sports world. Take advantage of this offer now. Get over to BetMGM, and then, because you're watching a DFS show, once again, you're going to get 2 free months of Stokastic Platinum completely free. So just do that. Take advantage of it. You sign up in that video description box below, deposit at least $10, and when that paid bet goes through, you're going to get that Stokastic subscription. So do it. Sign up. You know what to do in the video description box below. Check out BetMGM. Thank you to them for such a great promotion, working in tandem with us here. Alrighty, we just got massive news as I was doing that, because of course I did. Caris LeVert is starting. Donovan Mitchell out. Hopefully you got your Sacramento monies in. I didn't, because I was doing an ad read during it. You know what? Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles, as Bruce Almighty would say. How you feeling about that? Because Cleveland just got interesting.
Yeah, now we can really push on Darius Garland, and I would imagine in a couple of minutes we'll have probably a big shakeup in our ownership projections as well. So we'll have to react accordingly. But yeah, Darius Garland's in a massive spot. Caris LeVert's one of those guys, kind of like the Trae Young feeling, where he's so hit or miss, but such a good spot for him. And at that price, I still just look right at Donovan Mitchell, but Malik Monk. But yeah, I think this is a huge confirmation on this Garland lock button, maybe for our buddy in the 20 max.
Yeah, this is going to be very nice. I already liked Darius Garland. You're talking about Sacramento. You go to dunks and threes. You look at pace. They're 6th in pace. Sacramento Kings are. They are so bad on the defensive end. 24th in adjusted defensive rating. You take De'Aaron Fox off the floor. Davion Mitchell, known as a better defender back in his college days. It's shown up a little bit in the NBA. I still feel really good about Darius Garland and everything, but I think the tough one for me to figure out is what to do with Caris LeVert playing alongside Garland, Allen, Mobley. We haven't seen as much of the fantasy upside from him of late, but he is 4,400 and now starting. What do you think those minutes are going to be here in this spot? Because we have seen times earlier in the season when he was starting playing mid-30s minutes. If he's getting 35 minutes in this spot, 4,400, I would play 100%. But is he that kind of a play for you? I have my concerns.
Yeah, I think I would have to let ownership dictate what I'm going to do with that, because I'm with you. Like he's very volatile, but the price is nice, the matchup's nice, and a lot of shots have opened up without Donovan Mitchell in the game here. And then remember, Kevin Love is out as well.
He's out too.
Yeah, he should be second on the team in scoring. All right, maybe one of the Mobleys or the Jared Allens dunk a lot, which is very possible because Garland, we've seen him be a great facilitator. When you look back at last season, he's going to set somebody up. But I'm probably too pessimistic at this price point. Right, it's such a low price at 4,400. So ultimately, without ownership context right now, I'd probably want to get to about 25-30% because small forward was kind of my toughest position at the moment anyway. So I guess that's naturally where I want to see, but I'm curious to see where our ownership projections end up once all this dust settles.
How about this? Donovan Mitchell off the floor this season. Darius Garland, 32.3% usage. Jarrett Allen, 30.4% usage there in 95-minute sample size. Pretty limited, but I mean, obviously you can kind of look at the Colin Sexton sample size from last year and know that Jared Allen still didn't have that high of usage there at times. Evan Mobley sitting there around 22.5 and 186-minute sample. Got to add Kevin Love now to the mix too, as we're taking guys off the floor here. I won't bother pulling Dean Wade off because it's Dean Wade. Well, no offense to him or his family. Darius Garland, 32.4%. Jared Allen, 29% usage. Caris LeVert down there at 21. Again, for me, this is a minutes thing and trying to make sure that I get the right amount of minutes. Good call out by Kevin Love being out too. I'm going to project Caris LeVert really, really well as I'm shoring up everything on that end. Just feels like Chetty plays more than you want him to in spots like this. So keep that under consideration. Lamar Stevens, I expect to continue to start here as well. He's been starting for the last, 3 weeks. No reason that he wouldn't continue to there. not a very good fantasy asset, 0.6 per game, even though he got off to a hot shooting start the other night. Only reason that I really remember Lamar Stevens in any way, shape, or form. Isaac Okoro, God forbid. God help us all if Isaac Okoro plays a lot at 3,100.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you. Let's go over to forward, shall we? I'm updating everything here on that end. As news rolls in, we'll constantly update things. Looks like the identical lineups from the Knicks, from the Hornets, that what we were expecting. Oh, we've also got another super chat here. Love it. Shout out Chris Karen, doing a great job keeping me apprised of everything going on in the chat, because a lot going on, a lot of pieces of news to pay attention to. Teddy Wayman sent a $5 super chat. Thank you, Teddy. Good to see you again. Curious what your thoughts are on Clarkson on FanDuel. Thanks, gents, and go Jazz. All right. He wants to know, I'm upset at Jordan Clarkson because if I could have had Jordan Clarkson go off in that Golden State game, I had some really, really good lineups going with Walker Kessler when it just jammed him the other night there. I don't know how I feel about him. FanDuel, he's still 6,600 on FanDuel. Never mind. I really like him. How you feeling about him over there, Gun?
Isn't Mike Conley back?
Yeah, but he's still going to start, right?
Maybe, but maybe Clarkson has achieved a price point that's not for the
Sexton's out though.
Yeah. I price wise, sure. I feel like I'm falling elsewhere at the guard position. But yeah, I mean, if you median project him at 30 fantasy points, like I don't think you're crazy, and that would just be fine. But I don't think he's falling through for me because I'm just enamored with Darius Garland, with Davion Mitchell's guys like that. So he's slipping through the cracks for me. I'm not sure what to think about the Conley impact here, but yeah, you're right. Sexton being down, it could just be a lateral, if nothing else. Same situation.
All righty. We got Michael McKinney. By the way, I think there are better guard plays, but I think he's a really good play at that number on FanDuel. I'm not really landing him on DK with all the news we just got, but I will be updating everything here too. 28 minutes to go to lock. Plenty of time. Michael McKinney, $2 super chat regarding FanDuel. 5 favorite FanDuel cash plays. He has this question a lot for us. So always got to have this one on the ready. Feel pretty confident that you're going to be playing a lot of pieces of everything that we just talked about. Markelle Fultz is 4,600 over there as well. That's pretty fascinating. Feel like that's another guard that goes into the mix. But your 5 favorite FanDuel cash plays, Gun, fire it up.
All right, so we'll go Davion Mitchell, Darius Garland, probably Julius Randle, get some beef in the front court.
So what's for the dinner?
You know, I'm still really interested in Malik Monk, so maybe add him as number 4. There's a couple centers I got my eyes on today. I also do like Edwards, but for cores in cash game cores, I try to go a little bit more value intensive. Kuzma's right there for me as well. Shallow forward position. So maybe a guy like Kuzma.
I would probably also throw Kevin Durant in there. 10-3 on FanDuel. Small forward, power forward, facing Charlotte. Yay. That's just a spot that I think or not facing Charlotte. Sorry, that's the Knicks that are facing them. Brooklyn is facing Atlanta. Feel pretty good about Kevin Durant there at 10-3 as well for FanDuel purposes. On DK 10-5, I still like him for tournaments. We'll talk about that next. More super chats. Promise we'll get to the forward position. Vargas Mercy, $5 super chat. Can I play Herter, Monk, Mitchell, and Sabonis in a small single entry? The Meatloaf. F. You the man, Eric. Thank you. I have my moments sometimes, but Herter, Monk, Mitchell, and Sabonis, 4 Kings. How you feeling about 4 Kings in single entry today, Gun?
On a slate this big, I don't see 4 being optimal. I guess you could technically, but I'd probably limit myself to 3 of pretty much every team today.
I'm with you. H499, Eric, I always appreciate your enthusiasm for life. H, that's my burner account. Appreciate you. Thanks, my guy. The Claw 28 is back. DK, Harrison Barnes and Garland are Gobert and Hield for double ups again. I don't feel good about Gobert in double ups, but that's just one man's opinion. or Buddy Hield. So Barnes and Garland for sure.
Yeah, I guess I'm higher on Gobert than you are, but I love Garland a lot, the most, so I would take his partner versus the latter, but I don't necessarily have the warm fuzzies on Harrison Barnes.
You going to be Rudy chanting later? Rudy, going back into Utah.
I was doing the I'm coming home bit, but sold it.
Oh, see, that went over my head.
I'm
a good listener too. I tried. Couldn't do it.
Whoa. I'm not feeling heard right now. Oh my God.
The Claw 20 and one more. Van Vliet or Gobert, DK? Van Vliet for me. What do you think about that one?
I usually always go center over the guard here, and I like Gobert. Okay. Utah already is like one of the worst teams at defending the paint, and that's kind of his thing. And I know you're a big narrative guy on Twitter, so I'll buy it.
You get Larry Markkinen back in the fold. That's a little bit better. I mean, it be one thing. I'm a narrative guy. I'm not a narrative. That is sarcasm.
So my God, Eric, you just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
None of that. Just gonna go. Just full Hulk. Just upset. To the forward spot we go. By the way, Cavs starting lineup, very important to at least say it out loud. Garland, LeVert, Stevens, Evan Mobley, Allen, exactly what we expected. LeVert, just 1-for-1 swapping in with one. Donovan, Mitchell. Let's get to forward. We've made it. Let's just start here. Denny Avdia, your boy. He's somebody that you were talking about, small forward, power forward, being your highest owned guy before all the news broke. Of course, that was. We were just talking pre-show. Give the people the Denny Avdia against the fastest team in the league in terms of pace, the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, that was probably the main catalyst in me stepping out of my comfort zone with a guy like Avdia, because he's extremely hit or miss, but the Pacers matchup has been just nutty all year. So I feel a bit better. I also do think the more I'm processing the price on Karis LeVert, that's going to help soften the blow a little bit, and I don't have to be as high on Avdia, and I can diversify a little bit. But yeah, I think value-wise, Avdia's going to project extremely well.
Yeah, he's going to look good. I think we've got better plays that exist on the board now. I'm curious how much I'm going to get as I update my lineups. I'm almost done with everything that I need to. Pacers, normal starting lineup from them: Halliburton, Nembhard, and Hield, Smith, and Turner. So that's good to see. Don't have to be thinking too much about that. Everybody's done with their rumbly and their tumblies over on that side of things. I'm going to open this up to you. Who's your highest owned forward on today's slate?
I want it to be Anthony Edwards. Right now it is Kyle Kuzma. I haven't been able to recrunch with a new set of projections yet. I'm about to. But I love what Edwards has been doing lately. And then Kyle Kuzma against the Pacers makes the most sense to me. Did we get definitive Porzingis news? Is he for sure? I think he is, right? Because I had him GTD the whole day.
He's playing.
Okay. And then so it's probably going to be between Kuzma and Edwards as far as the non-value guys, but it's probably going to be Avdia, and unfortunately, Karis LeVert's going to end up hitting for me.
Yeah, it's a game environment thing, and no Bradley Beal. It opens up the board for a lot of things to happen. I don't think we need to even be remotely thinking about the 14.5% Daniel Gafford the way that I might have been before we got all of this other value. He's been smashing in very limited samples. I like him as a real life basketball player, but it feels like a thin piece of value compared to the other value we have. There's generally a lot of centers you want to get to, even if they're not named Rudy Gobert, in my opinion, even though I do think he's an all right play. I've been playing him more than the average Bear most of the time, but it's been tough to watch as a Timberwolves fan. Let me just say it's been real rough. I'm still waiting on some of this news. We got Steven Adams. I want this to come out as late as possible. I'm playing a lot of Brandon Clark. I have 60 lineups going here as we're on this live before lock show and I'm hosting. I feel pretty good about Brandon Clark being the best piece of value, including everything that we just got. If you get Steven Adams ruled out, would you agree with me there?
Yeah, point per minute. And then the per min production's more stable for these centers as opposed to some of these value guards because of the way that they accrue those points. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Is Mitchell out? Yes.
Every time I look over, all I see is Mitchell out, Mitchell out. It's just
but not Davion Mitchell, who's
right.
now a very good player from the Kings. Donovan Mitchell, he is out. That's always confusing because they're in the same game. So don't just blindly look and see Mitchell. Can't play him. You should get to some Davion Mitchell. Although, once again, Malik Monk really taking over as I've updated everything and as everything got updated here at Stokastic. So want to at least throw that out there. Kevin Huerter, confirmed, likes to shoot the basketball. Probably less of just, hey, free reign for our guy to get out there and get his thing done. Domantas Sabonis, I'm very nervous about how much I'm planning to have of him if his ownership stays the same. Lauri Markkanen ruled out. There we go. Walker Kessler now. Welcome to the party. Well, Simone Fontecchio ruled out. Where was this? Where was this the other day? This cat played over Taylor Horton Tucker. God forbid. Do I have to play Taylor Horton Tucker and run it back, or is he going to get zeroed out for Nickeil Alexander-Walker again? I can't, Gun. I can't with the Utah Jazz.
I guess the Colin Sexton absence certainly creates a lot of avenues of frustration tonight. Twitter's going to be fun.
Yeah, it will. Reaction. No Lauri Markkanen. I'm under the impression Simone Fontecchio. Just kill me. Yeah, I like Walker Kessler. Welcome to the party at 4,200. My favorite play on the slate at current ownership.
Yep. Value centers for me is a little bit more stable than anything else. We saw a lot of upside per minute in that Golden State spot. I think 4,200 is just way too cheap if we're going to get another 25 to plus minutes here. I would agree. 4,200, I'm in.
So people are saying, oh my God, Kessler started. Kessler started out of nowhere the other night. I was on Live Before Lock on Wednesday with Josh. We got Golden State. It was just the landmine. It was the pure nuts getting to everything in that Golden State and Utah game. And my lineups were smashing. I had all the Walker Kessler and all the land at 10%. He was starting. And what happens? My guy, Taylor Horton Tucker, doesn't even see the floor. They played Fontecchio above him, but now Fontecchio's out. What does this mean for the rest of this Utah lineup? My dear Lord, I am nervous about what I'm about to do.
Flop lag, man. Believe in it. You got this.
No, I don't believe in flop lag. I believe in sadness and broken dreams, and that's what I had on Wednesday.
Well,
that's probably why I got sick. Was that I was already sick, but I got sicker.
So I don't feel inclined to do that because I do like what we have at guard. But if you do it, I'll root for you.
I'm not going to do it. I'm just updating everything here. How many minutes do we have Mike Conley in for here at good old Stokastic? I'll give you guys a little freebie here. We've got him just short of 28 minutes, 27 and a half minutes. Not going to, maybe I do get to a little bit. I don't know. Nickeil Alexander-Walker played a lot more than I was expecting the other night. 29 minutes against Golden State. Wish I had landed on some of that. I will land on some of it here at 3,600. Seems as though he's going to be a part of this rotation. Malik Beasley ended up getting that start, 34 minutes. With no Colin Sexton on the floor for this go around. Oh, it's so interesting. I'm going to basically have like the same rotations, and I have to put Taylor Horton Tucker in for minutes. I just have to do it. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to because I'm so upset, and they obviously are upset with him for something because he just went from playing in the rotation to not out of the middle of nowhere behind Fontecchio. So weird to say that name every time. But Walker Kessler, confirmed jam, yes?
Yes, Kessler for sure. And then just inferring the context that we have, I guess NAW over THT to answer, what we're doing with minute projections. But who knows what I guess THC has a 0 to 25 minute range of outcome.
Sure does.
It's fun.
That's fun.
That's fun.
I mean, look at how many minutes Fontecchio played. He had the game-winning dunk. Now he's sitting out. He closed the game. That was the worst part. The guy closed the game just to extra rub it in my face. Whatever. Fettuccine Alfredo. That's the only way that he'll be referred from now on. My filler arc, $4.99. M with you, Don. Feeling like Vince minus the bad stuff. I'm with you, Don. Feeling like Vince minus the bad stuff. I don't know what that is. Lots of beef in my lineup. Anthony Edwards or Harden last man in. I like them both.
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, that's tough. I I couldn't choose. I'd probably lean Edwards for the flash, but Harden's looking really good too.
They both look great. The answer is flip a coin.
Mm.
And well, I probably slightly prefer Harden if I'm being honest, just looking at my lineups.
It's fair.
And you slightly prefer Edwards. So it's literally just
for me, it's like the forward spot feels a little bit more shallow than the guard spot. So
that's what I'm saying. I think 100% agree. We have a dearth of options at the guard.
Which is why I would end up with more Edwards.
Yeah. I have an outrageous amount of Karis LeVert. Just want to throw it out there. I have an outrageous amount of Darius Garland. Throwing that out there. I did read that. There we go. Good stuff. We go over to Eric Traub, $9.99. I think I want Kessler now. Should I ditch Capella or Allen? Well, what a great... You've come to the right place, sir, because I'm playing all the Walker Kessler in all the land. There is not a lineup that I'm going to make that won't have Walker Kessler in it tonight. It is wild how much stuff can change on the drop of a hat with news, but such is life. Team Eric needs to know, should he ditch Capella or Allen?
I'd probably ditch Capella just because we talked about the short sample, but still it's what we have to go off with Allen's usage. You talked about no Kevin Love, no Mitchell. Yeah. And we talked about Darius Garland being able to facilitate a little bit more. So it's a positively correlated, handcuff to Garland anyway. And then the Brooklyn matchup, just there's a lot of negatives here for Atlanta, and I'm a little bit more pessimistic. So if I had to choose between Allen and Capella straight up, I'm probably going Allen tonight.
I love Allen tonight. We're gonna get to lots of him. Lots of guys, Eric and Mother effing Gun. Yeah, you're right, Io. That's what's up. Not Io DeSunmo, just Io in the chat. Love you, my guy. Nate, $4.99. NAW or Davion Mitchell. Oh boy. So this NAW thing is. Do you ever feel good about rostering NAW? I don't think you ever feel good. At least we have confirmation. Davion Mitchell's starting. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to believe anymore based on what we saw in that Utah and Golden State game. It's more indicative of anything that we've seen in a long time, though. You had NAW go from playing 4 minutes against the Pacers in that 20-point win, literally didn't even play garbage time, to 29 minutes against Golden State 5 days later. So I don't know. I feel better about Davion Mitchell because I know he's starting and I know he's going to see the floor instantly. How do you feel about that, Gun?
I mean, I'm surprised you struggle. For me, it's like a snap call Davion just because I'm not.
Well, there's an ownership thing to consider too, where Davion Mitchell's coming in around 10%. And I will say, I think the usage is going to come down, playing around Herter. I mean, think about some of the cats he played with at the end of last season when he was smashing. They weren't exactly a usage inclined Malik Monk, Kevin Herter, and then playing through Domantas Sabonis. But I will say, I think I prefer Davion Mitchell, but that's going to come with ownership.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's the right way to think about it. Oh boy, we almost got caught up on super chats, and then Legarian Bridgewater decided to fire another $2 one. You're the best, guys. Position by position, favorite play on DK, Walker Kessler.
Does he want one for every position or just any position?
Position by position, favorite play on DK. I guess we could just do it by the positions that we have. My highest owned point guard right now is Davion Mitchell. My highest owned shooting guard is Davion Mitchell. Let's see. I got to update small forward here. We have some stuff that needs to get updated before I get here because like right now I have Miles Turner as the highest owned center and that makes no damn sense anymore. Mm-hmm. I definitely will have it end up being Walker Kessler. So there you go. There's at least a start. Do you have anything you want to throw down there? Just give me a guard, forward, and center.
Davion Mitchell. Kessler's pop for. I'm starting to develop this Jared Allen feeling in my bad knee, you kind of put me there. And then Randall for the forward, I guess.
How are we 11 minutes away from lock? This is insane. I got to talk about no house advantage this second. Like I can't have it wait another second because the slam dunk right now is less than 50% full over at no house advantage. I got to throw it in there, Gun. Update your lineups here. We'll kind of close out forward and jump to center here when I get back. But no house advantage. This is the site you need to be playing right now every single day, not just in the NBA, but NFL. That needs to be a priority. And why? overlay. Period. End of story. Overlay is the best way you can guarantee yourself profit over a large amount of time. And why do I say guarantee? Well, because we have the best projections in the game over at Stokastic, and they're completely free for you to check out the No House Advantage stuff. And as if that wasn't good enough, to have less than 50% full tournaments over at No House Advantage with 5K to first in that slam dunk playing props, you also get a deposit bonus. So $50, you deposit $50, you're going to get another 50 from our friends over at No House Advantage right now. When do you use promo code Stokastic? So, hey, I would do that. You put in $15, that gets you another $15 entry fee as well. You want to play in the finger roll, $5, you get another $5 for that one as well. You know, if you deposit anything over there, it's going to be matched up to $50. So take advantage of it. Go to No House Advantage. We're playing player props. We're going to talk through versus the house too, a very fun type of gameplay over at No House Advantage. They have hockey props that are available to you. They have college basketball props available to you. They have NFL constantly throughout the entire week. Soccer as well. MMA, that's something that's available as well in the versus the house section. Doing player props just like you do at other sites where we go over or under, and we can win up to 21x our money. That seems like fun. We're going to talk through some NBA stuff for you guys, but check out the pick'em, check out the versus the house, and do it using promo code Stokastic. Get yourself that $50 first match deposit bonus right now. Yeah, love No House Advantage. Love overlay. That's really all I need to say. Let's jump to the rest of the forwards here. I got everything, I think, updated. I think so. I think. Looks good. Looks better than it did before. Who are your highest owned forwards, Gun?
So I actually am ending up, I mentioned his name earlier, Jalen Smith, popping up a little bit more. But Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards, Levert, Avia. I always pronounce those two different ways. Those are the main ones. Yeah.
Avita. Yeah.
Vita, living la vida, Avita.
Oh, living a vida loca. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. Anyway, what about your boy Bojan?
Oh, I can't do it today. Not today. Not on this slate. So scoring dependent.
Just so everyone, we got thousands of people. Bojan, we are forever calling him Bobran Jordanovich. Okay, that's.
Have you jumped on board with me on the Bojan train?
I've been there all years.
Oh my God. I feel as though since day one, when I was playing the player prop, I'm like, I think this guy's going to lead the team in scoring. Like, I wish I could have bet on that. I mean, Cade Cunningham getting hurt was one thing, but even at the beginning of the season, took Cade a little while to get going. And the guy's just one of the best shooters, period, there is in the league. I could not love somebody more. I cannot play him on today's slate.
Okay. I just, that was your boy.
I wish I could.
I had to ask.
I wish I could. Mm-hmm. Bogdanovich, I can play him.
Yeah. Not spooked on the minutes limit, even though he got 25 minutes of 4,100. Right. We're good. No glass ceiling for you.
No.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could. Too many other good plays. I think that's really the main problem I have with it. If they're on a different slate, I would love to play him in tournaments. I can't do it today. And watch him go out and put up another 30 spot and make me feel like an absolute dum-dum.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like a dum-dum. All right, let's go to the center position. But first, super chats coming in hot, coming in strong. We have so many of them. Dahmer 707, $1.99. This is going to be a bit of a speed brown. I know we have 6 minutes. $5, 8 last spot in power forward on DK. All right, so $5, 8 last spot on DK. Oh, so it's $5,800 last spot. Power forward on DK. Who do you got?
I mean, Jalen Smith, but you're going to $800 on the table.
Yep. Otherwise, PJ Washington is $5,800. That's just fine by me. Any love for Kelly O from Teddy Wayman? Yes, Kelly O, definitely somebody you can consider tonight now.
Yeah. So, wait, Olynyk or Oubre? You talking about
Olynyk?
Okay.
I mean, I don't love him, but I think he's in play. He was not in play with Jared Vanderbilt before, but now he is.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Let's see what else we got. DK, Jared Allen or Gobert. Single entry, thanks. Jared Allen for me.
Yeah.
See, we found one. There it is.
That's probably one of the closer 1v1s. I'm on the Allen. The Allen Garland handcuff is just gonna be huge for me tonight. Hopefully.
Okay. That is, I think, no, sorry, I just spaced out. Tony Porcelli, member for 20 months, love the badge. Looks good on you, my friend. Are the show pieces as valuable with all this news? Are the Chicago pieces, the CHO pieces? I don't know what that is.
Charlotte, maybe?
Yeah, Charlotte, I would imagine. They are still interesting, but I'm not going to be playing Mason Plumlee anymore. I can tell you that much is very true. So you can spot him in for 40.
Yeah.
Prepare. Oh, we did it. Man, you guys are the best. So many super chats, 3K people. Hit that like button. Gun, we're not going anywhere, right? We got a half an hour to hang out and talk through everything. And there's going to be news. There are going to be lineup modifications. To the center position we go. I'm going to just open up the board. Who are you getting to the most at this very coveted position?
Jared Allen ended up being my high. I blame you for that.
See?
So
you're welcome.
Yeah.
He's the best center play outside of Walker Kessler, who's just a jam now.
Yeah. And then when I just ran a crunch, one guy I just don't want to slip through the cracks and drop 70 in a decent spot is Joel Embiid. We got him at 5% own. That's, you gotta be, what's 8-10% of Mr. Embiid tonight with the value that he is here now.
What's love but a secondhand emotion?
Okay, you lost me. What song is
What's
that?
love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken?
Bars. Okay, we're doing this. I don't know the song. I know the song, but I don't know the lyrics like that.
I won't sing it because it's better as spoken word than me actually singing.
I can't snap my fingers either. I'm lost on this bit, bro. You're on your own. I can't.
Jeff Williams, $1.99. If Adams is out, LeVert or Clark, DK, high dollar GPP, both would be the answer, but Clark, jam if you have no Steven Adams.
Yeah, Clark for me. Just more stable floor.
Yeah, Clark Kent. That's what he would turn into instantly. Classic Eric and OG. I like to think all of these things. I spit bars. I can rap with the best of them. Look at me, all fellow friends. Let's do this. Highest known players that you have on the slate with 3 minutes left to go as we get to lock. Make sure you guys have your lineups in here now. I'm going to do that and turn it over to Gun.
Highest known players, just like in general.
Just throw them all out there, my friend. Throw them all out.
All right, got you. Davion Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Kyle Kuzma, Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle. Those are the high, and then it just kind of gets off a little bit of a cliff after that. And then we're leaning on Mavisa and Karis LeVert. Don't love that. I don't know why. Walker Kessler, that mixed that. I feel like a chalk donkey here.
Can you neigh for me? You do a good neigh.
Neigh?
You do like the
that's not a neigh.
But it's kind of a neigh.
That's a horse. Do you ever the cow goes moo? You sucked at that one, didn't you? Just
I did.
Wow.
That requires a certain level of performance I'm not capable of, obviously. Look at my IMDb. It's not good. Guys, hit that like button. Once again, we're ready to get ourselves to lock, but we're not going anywhere. We're going to talk a little NHA. We're going to talk a couple of bets as well. We're going to head over to a little Odd Shopper and do everything. We're going to also be reacting to tons of news. And trust me, there's going to be news today. So buckle up. Things are going to come hot and heavy. I'm paying close attention. I want to make sure we get that exact Utah starting lineup that we would anticipate based off of what we saw earlier in the week on Wednesday specifically. So those are going to be our main components. Maybe we get that, maybe we don't, but we did get it during the show on Wednesday. So kind of if you're setting your watch to the same time, it came out right around the old 7:27 Eastern time mark. So you guys don't need to go anywhere. Let's get to it. No house advantage in 2 seconds. I've got my lineups in. Whew, that was a little bit of a sweat. I forgot when you're hosting, you kind of get lost in the music of it. You get caught up. You're ready to rock. You're trying to do the super chats. You're trying to do the reads. You make the people happy. And then you get to have fun with your buddy Gun in the extra half hour. That's what I'm looking forward to most. I'm going to catch up with my friend Gundacker. First of all, what's new?
Nothing. I'm just same old me, man.
I will say, I think you've been smashing. You might be, out of all the people that I know on Earth, the best video game player that I've ever witnessed live on Twitch.
Let you know personally, I'm definitely not, but like for a boomer, I'm probably pretty solid. Also,
I don't. I'm saying most people I know are my age, Gun. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
They're, like
yeah,
around
okay,
that,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a point of pride or what, but I like it.
You're solid.
Yeah,
People need to go watch my guy on Twitch. That's what I was trying to give you a plug.
I don't need
go
that.
watch my guy game on Twitch. If you guys want to see him snipe
God.
up some shit talking college kids that get on the old hot mic and try to let him know what's up, and then you just end up. What's the game you play the most over there? Not Fallout. It's
the chat's gonna roast me, dog. Don't do this to me.
Look at this live. We got Chris pulling everything up here live. Look at this. This is some ridiculous stuff. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. You're being a little bit modest.
What are we pulling up?
Check it out.
I don't know.
Somebody said, "What is the Twitch?"
God dang it! Oh,
I love it. The boomer sensation.
I live 3 lives, Eric. Gambler, pro wrestler, and video gamer, bro. I have 3. It's my life.
Some would say you're living the dream.
Maybe.
Feel pretty good about it. I would feel pretty good about it. Anyway, the guy's ridiculous. Go watch him on his Twitch stream. Go check him over on the YouTubes as well. Does a lot of great work. We are very fortunate, very lucky to have him over here talking through NBA slates. The guy just got Aaron Judge re-signed. You should be in the all-time best mood. Like, thank God. You and Chris both. Yeah. I can't imagine that this would be the same kind of show if that news went the other way.
No, I would probably be in the closet somewhere just rocking back and forth.
All right. Well, you whip your hair back and forth.
Okay. All right. You go from Tina Turner to Willow Smith. Is that what that was?
I do. That was
Holy
Willow.
Cow. That's you.
Meet Me at Our Spot, by the way. That is a banger. Have you heard that song? Willow Smith? It's like a newer song from her.
I'm probably below the field on Willow Smith music exposure.
Meet me at a spot, got something I like to show. It's so good.
That's crazy.
Caught a vibe, baby. Are you coming for the ride?
Okay.
Yeah. See, chat sees caught a vibe.
Right.
That's what's up, baby. We should get to talking a little No House Advantage versus the house. That is where we go. Where we have the NBA listed. Go to nohouseadvantage.com. Once again, use promo code Stokastic. Get yourself a $50 first match deposit bonus. I'm going to run a couple of things by you. First one, Trae Young. I'm upset with him because I got him at 26.5 at even just standard juice the other day. That's up to 30.5 his points prop is going up against Brooklyn. Do you like over or under that number, Gun?
Wait, what?
30.5 points for Trae Young. Do you think that sounds like too many or too little?
Nah, I mean, considering the usage and who's out for that team, if the Hawks are competitive in this game, I would expect Trae Young to be pushing that 30 line. I have pessimistic doubts about the Hawks being competitive tonight. I don't know why. But I would say, just letting the math talk, I would probably say this should be one of those 30-point plus Trae Young nights if they're going to have a chance.
Devin Davis, 100% I lost money again tonight listening to Eric Lindquist. No, you have not. Recently, if you have been listening to me, you have not been losing money. I'm happy to admit when I suck and my calls are terrible. We jammed Walker Kessler the other night in DFS. We bet Bojan Bogdanovic to the moon the other day in the old Odd Shopper Discord. You're not losing money. Embarrassed. People are curious about you being a pro wrestler. We'll put a pin in that one, but we got to finish this out. Kyrie Irving, 25.5 points. Talked about liking him as a contrarian option on today's slate, but over or under that number?
25.5 real points for Kyrie.
25.5 real points.
Yeah, I would lean the over considering the match. It's a double plus, right? Trae Young with no DeJounte, no Hunter defensively. Kyrie should have a green light here, and a guy like Ben Simmons being on the court would just pass the ball right back to Kyrie. So I would lean the over there, but Kevin Durant could go nuclear as well. I hate when both guys have the softest spots available. I feel like it's one or the over, one or the other, but I think I would lean the over.
Tap in the belly. It's the softest spot. I bet you'd like that one. Cool. One more to throw out there for you, Gun, and then we'll move along because this is wild. Joel Embiid, 34.5 points, over or under?
I would have to go the under just because
too.
it's such a massive number. But yeah, I have to go the under.
I had to look up his points prop over at OddsShopper, which again, if you want to cross-reference and help yourself out a little bit, go to oddshopper.com. And even over on No House Advantage, use some of our projections, our free projections over at OddsShopper to help inform you over on No House Advantage for some of these props. 31.5 is the number over at DK. Minus 105 juice there, but like 34.5 is such a big number. That's the highest projection I've seen for anybody anywhere. I don't think I've seen a 34.5 points prop anywhere on a book all season long. So I got to say the under of 34.5 for Embiid stands out big time to me. Even if you do like Embiid for tournaments, could he go over against the Lakers and their abysmal defense? Sure. But Anthony Davis been a really, really good defender over the course of this season. And I do look at center matchups from time to time. I literally never look at matchups for anything else, but will say Anthony Davis on Joel Embiid, something where Anthony Davis, not the easiest defender to get a bucket on. Cool. That's No House Advantage. Check out the versus the house. Love it over there. Love OddsShopper, the cross-referencing. Look at that. Super clean, super easy. Took 2 seconds to find that. Check out oddshopper.com. Doing a lot of great stuff there. And on the oddshopper.com YouTube streets, check that out as well. Myself, Eitan, Greg Ehrenberg. We got Lofty covering every NFL game for you guys over the course of the weekend. Check out all of those good things. Mo Wagner prop. That is not available on No House Advantage, but we continue ourselves over to the beginning of these games. We are 6 minutes into the post-lock show. Curious if you saw any ownership yet.
Let me pull up DraftKings. Like you said, I play more FD. Let's see.
I'm going to pull up the $15 here. Threw 20 in that today just for shits and giggles. Shitties and giggles. Kristaps Porzingis, 6.58%. Let's go, Kristaps. That'll be fun. Anything else that stands out? Let me just see if they can group it by fantasy score yet. Nope, we can't yet. But Julius Randle, over or under 30%?
Over.
30.72%. This one is wild. Denny Avdia.
Yeah, I'm under that.
You just saw it?
Yeah. I'm not I like
37.74%. Y'all, Walker Kessler just showed up. That's going to be my dude tonight. We have all the Sacramento pieces. How did 37.74% of you guys get there on this slate? I'm going to the old boom bust tool. I get it. Denny's not the worst play ever, but my God, that is a ton of ownership coming in on him. Denny Avdia. Find him here. 38.19% boom score. That's pretty damn good. Got him projected at 30. For all of you people who have your 6x multipliers, there you go. But I can't imagine. I'm under that 37% number by quite a bit, 20%. So best of luck to me there. What else we got here? Let me take a look at the $4 too and see if there's anything that stands out. Nothing really that different. We've got a lot of ownership that'll be showing up in that Sacramento and Cleveland game. We got that starting lineup too. Mitchell, Herter, Barnes, Murray, Sabonis, exactly what we expected it to be. Reminder, not Donovan Mitchell of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Davion Mitchell starting at $3,200 on DraftKings.com for the Sacramento Kings. Any of this ownership that stands out to you so far, Gun?
Just that Visa one. Everything else, I mean, I guess I expected Randall to be high 20s, so he peaked over 30. It is what it is, but Visa's the one. Like, I honestly feel like if you told me Visa was 40%, just as a strategy play on a slate like this, I might just full fade it, but it's such a great matchup. That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Let's see. Any thoughts on Tim Hardaway Jr. tonight? He's somebody I've been playing a lot, not today.
Yeah, I have almost virtually none of that game. A sprinkle of Giannis and Doncic here and there. That's it. Like, just not there.
It's going to be a really, really ugly game.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero of it too. I have Giannis. I have Luka. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I only have 2% Luka. This is by far the least amount of Luka I've ever had in my life. Like, that's what it feels like. I know that that's a little bit of sarcasm, but not really. I've been very, very high on Luka compared to everybody else. all season long, even playing him at 12.5, 13K above the field in a lot of spots because I project him for 65 here. I know we have him at 60.36 over on Stokastic. Had him at 65 last game. I've got him for 63.5 here. So there you go. I've been a little bit higher on Luka than it would seem the consensus has been all season long, but that's usually a good thing.
Yeah.
Good talk. Glad we had it. Let's see. Any news that popped up here as well as we're going through this? Again, we just got that starting lineup. Getting Davion Mitchell in there. That's always good. Do you like Monk? Yes, we like Monk, don't we? We love monks. Monks invented beer, from what I am aware of.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's like
I don't drink beer.
That's right. Okay, let's do this because I've been thinking about this for the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
I need people to know your wrestling name.
It's Gundacker. Some companies that call me Gun Show as a derivative, but it's when you have a name like this, Eric, I don't need to come up with anything. I'm not the Dragon Slayer 5000. Gundacker. Yeah.
No, you just nuke those little kids on Twitch streams. That's what it is. Slayer 5000. And then God, what is the game that's so popular that I can't think of the name of? Look at this. Come on now. Once again, how modest is this guy? He has some of the sickest video game clips ever. He knows it. And then he's got this sick wrestling getup. Check out the belt. They don't just hand those out for free, Gun.
Yeah, no, I had to put in a little work for that one.
5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. That's Gundacker, y'all. Check him out over on Twitter at Gundacker. Super easy, super efficient. Go check me out at Eric Lindquist too while you're at it. Basketball games getting underway. Just wanted to give you another shout out, but is it real gold? I'm imagining that, for some of those, even on like WWE, everything else, it's not real gold, right?
I do not think so. I have it around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at.
Can we get a championship belt if Denny Avdia fails somehow? Because I guess we're kind of cheering against him now. I don't know what I want from Denny. I'm in no man's land with Denny.
Put it on the floor, bro. It was just there. No, there ain't no way this gold. It's probably like
just put it over your shoulder like a Continental Soldier the rest of the way.
Got me feeling like a mark, bro. I can't do that.
Yeah, you got to do it. Keep it on.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely.
We got to have something to fill the gap above your head on the camera.
We got 700 likes, maybe.
700 likes.
700 likes.
We get to 700 likes. We get Gun.
Have this over my shoulder for the rest of the. There you go. Here's your like incentive.
Let's go, people. Smash the like the same way he's smashing that monster. Round 3, I believe, right?
This is my second monster in 3 hours. So
how about
I forgot about this show. I was on the NHA show earlier, and at the end, Terry's like, and coming up on live before live Gundack, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. So I needed to wake up in the second round of Monster.
Shareable Cortex would like you to come power bomb me. It's not very nice.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
And
that's
Eric
probably like the fastest like move I've ever, bro. That was slick. Okay, you guys are crushing the likes.
You guys are sick. Look at that. Gun, you got to find these different avenues, son. It's the trick of the trade. You got to smash that like button to get the things that we want. And what we want is we want Gun slinging on this show. We want him flexing on this show. I want you to embrace your power. I want you to embrace how great of a dude you are.
I appreciate that.
There you go.
I'm like the most humble guy I know.
That was good. Let's see. Anything that you really want the people to know about these games that are going to be locking at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time? We've got Atlanta, Brooklyn. I think the usual suspects you can get to from Atlanta. I'm nervous that I'm under on Trae Young. Sacramento, Cleveland. Let's kind of recap that one. I think that's such an important basketball game to go through. Who are your 5 highest owned pieces from that one?
From the Sacramento, or just from the 3 games, or from the
from just that Sacramento Cleveland game? I just want to give some people some pertinent information from that one.
Yeah, Davion.
Just to recap.
Davion, Garland, Allen, Monk, and LeVert.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Those are the plays
That's like
you need to
half my
have in your
my
lineups a lot.
lineup. So if those 5 suck tonight, I'll be on Fortnite earlier.
Come watch his stream. Yeah.
Oh, we hit 700. God dang it. I aimed way too low for that. That's crazy. This is the markiest. We have 15 minutes, Eric. Oh my God. This is gonna be the markiest crap I've ever done, bro. Oh,
Right now, baby. Let's go.
God.
Gundacker.
Why did I do 700? Just over the
Treaded by
shoulder.
water, there is one man.
I feel stupid, bro. This is okay.
It's kind of
Alright.
fading into the background a little bit, but it's pretty
Oh,
money.
oh,
Can you put it on
no.
the other shoulder? We got your name on the
Yeah.
bottom right corner. Other shoulder,
Okay.
please.
This
Thank
is
you. Just
stupid.
taking a note from me.
Okay. All
That's
right.
beautiful stuff.
I don't. This is all right. Put the company over. How about that? I'm a company guy.
I'm a company guy.
I'm a company guy. It's heavy. It's actually kind of heavy, low key.
Is a little heavy. Well, you got
Yeah.
15 more minutes of slinging it, so just buckle up, son. It's going to be beautiful. I'm double checking my Davion Mitchell. I have way more of him than it would seem Stokastic is projecting him at. I'm very nervous about myself. I understand the usage dip. I get it, but again, no De'Aaron Fox. We've seen him play so many minutes, and I'm looking at like who else they're going to have. Like Matthew Dellavedova, we've now got in the rotation. That's never a good feeling, right?
Said Dellavedova?
Oh yeah, you just heard what I said.
What?
So yeah, if Malik Monk gets it going, he's going to play some point guard too. But Davion Mitchell, I'm uncomfortably high on him.
Revenge game for Dellavedova?
Yeah, in his 15 minutes that he might get to see the court now, he's going to try hard today. That's the key. It's really you get those Aussies that try hard. The back of your throat.
Except Ben Simmons. Bro, this belt is heavy, bro. Chat, help me out. Hit the unlikes. Come on.
Do not do that. Do not do that. If you want to hit the like button again, hit it twice.
Oh my God.
So do that. Make sure. 82% of the people hit the like button to see Gundacker's belt.
That's
Just want to throw it
crazy.
out there.
So 18% of you people don't care. I appreciate that.
Outrageously fun. I want to see Gun stand up. Yeah.
No,
I want to see the full belt.
don't.
I want to see the
I'm not
full
gonna-
belt.
The full belt? It's
Eric,
just a
did you
belt.
see your
Y'all
under
never-
on Trae Young with everybody else starting? Yeah, there's so many good guard plays today. It's outrageous. Like I have 6% Trae Young. He's at 12%. I don't know. He's gonna start shooting the ball well eventually. I played Trae Young last slate. I bet his player prop, and I still didn't get there in that blowout. That was so painful. He's gonna have crazy usage, but Bogdanovich is eventually gonna cut into it a little bit here too. For me, it's just like I think there's plays I prefer more, and that price is up to 10-3. He's a guy who could definitely burn me on this slate. What?
That's just crazy. Steve, shout out to Steve Lebo. He's always in chat, bro. What a grinder.
Cut a promo on Eric Lindquist, like body slam me, or I don't know.
No.
I'd be like the Undertaker. I would have.
You have what?
Is that pretty good? I thought that was pretty good for an
I
Undertaker.
didn't have was that a physical bit?
Yeah, it was a physical bit. You weren't watching.
No.
I thought it was
Sorry, I
good.
missed it. Can you do it again? Or
I got to just watch. No, you
okay.
can go back and watch it.
had to be there. Okay. All right.
Had to be there. Yes, please body slam Eric. A lot of people. I tell you what, more and more we're going across this week. It's the people love me. The people hate me. The people love me. The people hate me. Such is this job, such is life. But we've got 12-9 right now in the Pacers-Washington game. Let's check in. Buddy Hield out of the gate, hot. 8 points, 3 for 3, 2 for 2 from 3. What do we got? Halliburton, 2 points, assists, nothing really happening there. Denny Avdija, 1-1-1. Nifty. Just missed a free throw. That wasn't very nice of him. Monty Morris, 2-1-1. Decent start for my guy. Shout out Iowa State. Go Cyclones. There's a lot of them in that game. Monty Morris, Tyrese Halliburton. It's a nice matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, you all right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. There's so much caffeine in my blood right now. Probably
The mouth of the South, Eric Lindquist. What did
Jimmy Hart.
I do? Still cold stunner, Eric. That wouldn't be nice. NAW starting for the Jazz. Did that just come through? Holy mother of God.
Oh, Conley off the bench. So that helps Clarkson.
See, these are the things that happen when we're having fun. We can't have fun anymore. Nickeil Alexander will start ahead of Mike Conley. I guess Mike Conley is going to be on a pretty extreme minutes limit. Let's go back to the drawing board. Oh, joy. More value at guard. That was me setting you up. What do you think about Nickeil Alexander Walker? Because, like, my God.
Yeah,
my
God.
Mean,
you would think that cures all of our doubts. I guess the THC doubts are still there. But yeah, I guess 30 minutes of NAW is a reasonable expectation. And at 3,600, he's a guy that stuffs the stat sheet peripheral. So I would absolutely want to be there on that. And we have 10 minutes to diversify a little bit because I got a lot of guards in this next game. I'm going to have more guard in the util. Yeah.
Easy is his name, and the boy is coming. NWA. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. We need an NAW.
Yeah. Okay, relax.
$1.99 from Jeff Williams. Trey, Ja, Durant, best floor and ceiling on DK. Ooh, we're talking floor and ceilings and these different things. You're talking my language. Kevin Durant, because of his position, is the guy I'm getting the most. And it doesn't have anything to do with floor or ceiling. It has everything to do with there are 49,843 guards, give or take a few, that I want to play on today's slate, and they are not expensive.
Yeah, if we didn't have so many guards, I would want to be at Ja, but with the position scarcity for me in the small forward, I would probably say Durant floor, Ja ceiling, and Trey. I don't feel good about the Hawks today. In a real life,
feel good about the Hawks
in a real life sense. I let the math do the math in my lineups, but I just got this feeling the Hawks may not be as competitive as they want to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be
NWA over Bogdan. Yes, I would, because of the minute. Like if Bogdan's implied for a minute restriction, I don't think if NWA has a real NAW. God dang it, y'all are doing this.
See, you're welcome.
No.
I did it. Let's go over Utah one more time here because I think that piece of news is pretty gigantic. Nickeil Alexander Walker, I'm going to play a lot of now. You're going to play a lot of him. Walker Kessler, I'm still assuming he starts. If he doesn't, he's 4,200. I will find ways because I have Nickeil Alexander Walker and Malik Beasley and a bunch of these other Jazz guys that I can rotate away from. Jordan Clarkson's up to 10.5%. I don't know if I want that much of him. I got him in 8% of my lineups a second ago. I think that I'm fine kind of keeping that. Jared Vanderbilt, that would have been the one guy where he could end up getting the start instead of Walker Kessler. He had been starting every game until that Walker Kessler start. I think because of a true center there in Gobert, I think they still stick with Walker Kessler in the starting lineup. I don't know because we don't have that exact lineup, but I would like to get to all the Walker Kessler and all the land right now.
Yeah, and then if we got Adams news, we could chop down a little bit for Clark. So I think that would kind of keep that open.
Yep. This is tough. How much Nickeil Alexander Walker are you going to get to? Because I just ran it where I put him in for 28 minutes. I get him in everything. Like he's in everything. Like way better play for me than Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, that's what I was literally just thinking is he actually does project better for me than Davion. So I guess I can't prospect hug the first guy I fell in love with here. We just have to move on to greener pastures. So more NAW. I wish he was forward eligible.
Little Natalie, or not Natalie Imbruglia. That's what's her face?
The adopted dog lady.
The adopted dog lady. Yeah, we got to do it.
Okay.
Chat will let me know in 5 seconds. How much is too much, Eric? How much is too much? Me? Probably 5 seconds. But how much is too much? Sarah McLachlan. See, there we go. Related to Jordan McLaughlin. No, he's not.
I was gonna say we gotta save that bit for Jordan.
Yeah, I've done that bit before for Jordan, and I just forgot her name entirely because that's what happens when you're trying to update minutes for everybody. I'm trying to do God's work right now, and it is not going well, Gun. It's not going well. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. I need to have everything updated because we have a ton of players that are going to be locking here, and I want to give the people the most pertinent information here. in the last 6 minutes. Karis LeVert, still getting tons. Darius Garland, still getting tons. Malik Monk, still getting tons. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I like a lot more than I like Davion Mitchell now.
Yeah, and you said you put him at 28 minutes. Like, it wouldn't be stunning if he played 35. So you might even, if you're going to get a ton at 28, and there's still a little bit of room for more at that price. So I agree.
The reason that I'm not jamming him 100% is that we do have cheap pieces in Mitchell and Monk and these other guys that you still want to get to. Like, it's not, they're all really, really good. And Utah, we've seen these rotation pieces just get thrown around ad nauseum. I still think Walker Kessler is phenomenal as long as he starts. You have to know that can change drastically if he doesn't. But I love getting to a lot of Nickeil Alexander-Walker because in the event that you don't get Walker Kessler starting, that gives you another safety valve where I just want to prefer him coming up late. It's later news. Give me all the Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
I agree. I wish he was a small forward.
Yeah, that would be great because we needed more guards. That's what we needed today. Somebody said Mitchell Robinson off to a good start. How's Julius Randle doing? 6-3-1. That is a good start too. I'm pretty happy with that. He's one of my highest owned players. Oh boy, my lineups are just wild right now. Julius Randle, Darius Garland, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Karis LeVert, Walker Kessler, Malik Monk, Brandon Clark. We still don't have news on Steven Adams. That's the other thing. You want to get to Brandon Clark infinity % if you get that news that Steven Adams is out.
Yeah, and I think that's why you can go heavy on Kessler right now, because you would have money to maybe chop in half to a little Clark if you needed to.
Yeah, it's setting up the swap when you need to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. 3 minutes. All right, 3 minutes. A couple of questions. Jeff Williams, $1.99. NAW, Kessler, Mitchell, LeVert, 2 of the 4 on DK in the biggie. Oh, he's playing the biggie. NAW is definitely one of them now. Walker Kessler is definitely one of them. Mitchell and LeVert. God, LeVert's such a good play too. That's such a hard tandem. I would probably go with all of that under the assumption that Kessler is starting. I would say it's LeVert and Kessler, but I love NAW. It's weird to say that Mitchell is now the 4th guy. How things can change on these shows. He's 4th for me in that list.
Yeah, I think that the podium shakes out the same for me. Yeah.
Alexander Walker, Clarkson, Beasley, Olynyk, Kessler. My God. Remember when I said earlier in the show, 7:27 p.m. Eastern time was when that news dropped on Wednesday? It's the exact time it dropped again on Friday. Shout out the Utah Jazz for doing good things and doing them in a way that is somewhat predictable. Now start doing it on the floor too. That would be great. Walker Kessler, I'm just jamming Walker Kessler right now. I already was, but we're jamming him.
Okay.
What?
Nothing.
Do you not want to?
No, I forgot Malik Beasley existed for a little bit.
Ronald Beasley. See what I did there?
No. What is that?
It's Harry Potter.
I've never seen it.
All right. That doesn't shock me. We have 2 minutes. I have to get these lineups in. This is going to be a wild sweat. Karis LeVert. Jeez, dude. If you play like shit, I'm just going to lose my mind. It's this absolute fool. Because I just hate locking it up, but like I don't know what to do other than play a ton of him. I'm so glad I don't have a ton of Brunson, ton of Quickly. That's good. So, all right. I'm just going through everything that I had there. 1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute. Let's get this in. Kessler. All right. I got enough there. And then I got some Brandon Clark just to make sure that I got that covered. Let's export this. Let's get these lineups in. Oh, Frankie Lofton. DK, Zion, Edwards, Kessler, or young Zion Walker? I like the first one a little bit more, but I love Walker. Like, I'm assuming that Nickeil Alexander Walker, and yeah, he's still a phenomenal play. A lot of those dudes are phenomenal plays.
I'll take the first one.
Somebody said Denny going off, Avdia doing it. Well, that's one way to do it. I have Nickeil Alexander-Walker who's going to do it for me, right? Don't answer that. Gun, this was so much fun. A lot of fun. Good to be feeling better. Good to be hanging out with you guys here on the YouTubes. Hit that like button once. Well, don't hit it once more. That would be stupid. Hit it for the first time if you have not already. Atone for your sins, as Laffy would say. Any final words for the road here, Gun?
Good luck.
Steven Adams listed available to play. Wanted to throw that out there as we get out of here. Good to know when I can't really react to anything, but obviously we'll be able to react to it after the show. Shout out to Chris Caird, filling in, the master of all the different things here at Stokastic, scheduling, which is the worst. I can't even imagine. All the great content that he does here for us, puts everything together on the YouTubes that you watch and enjoy every single day. So shout out him filling in there for Tyler Zander. Figure out your damn internet. But he's Gundacker. He's awesome. I'm Eric. I'm all right sometimes. We'll see you guys next time.